tie dwumadi a to di sekukwe ntumi ewo number 1 aka radio station Ishra 104.5 FM.
Kukura microphone office
kukwe ntumi ayamanasam.
Corruption is going to be high on the agenda of government in terms of fighting it.
Kukwe ntumi ayabrabo mu yedi ensem.
Health insurance ne ba ye no. And the consequences afu wo wa ayi no. Anya choketwa. Ayi tuni na ma.
Ebia waso amo atem ye won tie.
Enka o se nyankopon free na politicians na first person President Mahama no man 36 lashes. We are no man vice 30 lashes. We are no man minister 24 lashes. We are no man MPs 18 lashes. Politicians they are corrupt. They are politicians. They are killing this country.
Presidential candidate no be enya ohamo bupen aduonum ni achi ebi onso so court no ebebua say eye declaration EC ba penyima ne Jimensa o declare no say ebuga na mrapon na say embu mrapon no na bi o obesa bua say eye aba oto wo Techiman South abato mpesi aso no senka o the results no ebobo eken bobo kan ho anka be yensa
on them is that in pleadings you plead facts, but not evidence. And we had pled or pleaded the facts that were necessary to ground our petition. And this witness statement was designed to provide evidence in support of the facts that we have pleaded. So, for instance, we made it clear in the petition that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission had acted in an unfair, arbitrary, and capricious manner. And the evidence of Rojo Metrinunu, together with the evidence of Dr. Kwesa White, which I'm sure you witnessed the other day on the 3rd, was meant to make it clear the extent to which the chairperson was capricious, was arbitrary, and also unfair as far as the petitioner's case is concerned. And so we were taken aback when they sought to basically throw out the entire witness statement, saying that it was not supported by the pleadings. But as you have seen, I'm sure the court took a different view, and out of the 23 paragraphs in respect of which objection was taken, it was only 5 of them that the court said should be struck out. And for us, that is a great victory. We will not comment on the substantive content of the petition, of the witness statement, because it's yet to be cross-examined on them. And I'm sure on Monday, when we return to court, the cross-examination will take place. And thereafter, if there are any issues arising out of or in connection with the cross-examination, we'll address you and clarify those issues to your understanding. Any questions?
Doc, we previously asked about the impact that your witness statement being struck out will have on your case. In this particular instance, if you read the paragraphs 6 and 7, very serious allegations that once taken out, you should be worried about. It talks about fax machines not working and someone just walking into the strong room with documents coming from wherever and using it to collate results. You should be worried that such important piece of information is not going through this particular case.
Well, that is so. If you watched lead counsel Mr. Tikata on his feet, he made it very clear that in respect of paragraph 6 relating to the fax machines not working and people walking in with information or faxed documents and so on, that the evidence was meant to make clear that the systems that they had put in place, because remember that in first respondent's answer, the EC said they had put in place a seamless and transparent system for the collation of results. And paragraph 6 of the witness statement, which you correctly identified has been struck out, was meant to say that the system that you call seamless was in fact not seamless, that it was in fact dysfunctional, and that the fax machines were not working and there was frustration in the strong room. Of course, that is not the only evidence that we are providing. The rest of the paragraphs detail whatever took place in the strong room, and we think that ultimately if those are taken into account, the probative value of what our witness will say will rise up. Any more questions?
No, you mentioned that what just happened is a great victory. I want to find out in what context are you speaking? What do you mean by great victory?
Pardon?
You mentioned that what just happened in court is a great victory to you. And I want to find out in what context are you speaking? What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, of course, if the objection was taken to almost the entire witness statement, you know, if you watch Akodo Ampah on his feet, he listed 23 out of 32 paragraphs to be struck out. Now, if you take those that remained, say paragraphs 1 to 3, those are just introductory paragraphs about who the witness is and so on and so forth. So basically, if the entire 23 paragraphs were struck out, then it would have meant that, you know, we would have basically an empty witness statement that would not be supportive of our case. But here's the case: we have, you know, only 5 out of the 23 being struck out, and for us, those 5 do not materially, you know, I mean, damage the case that we are seeking to make by bringing Rojo Metil-Nunu as a witness in this matter. So that is why I'm saying that it was a victory for the petitioner as far as we are concerned.
All right. Thank you very much. Forgive me for my ignorance, but I believe that the petitioner came to court to prove a point, the point being that neither of the 2 leading candidates attained more than 50% of the total votes cast. Now, the witnesses we've seen so far have spoken to other matters other than the figure 50% or less. Even today, the witness statements that we have seen does not address the issue of whether somebody attained 50% or less. Are you shifting the goalposts?
I don't think so. I don't think we are shifting the goalposts. And then also, I mean, first of all, in his testimony, PW1, the General Secretary of our party, all right, testified to the issue of whether or not any of the candidates crossed 50%, you know, I mean, the 50% threshold as required under Article 63 of the Constitution, all right? And of course, you saw that they brought calculators and sought to get him to calculate figures, you know, showing how many votes were won and so on and so forth. So that is what when we addressed you, we said that is the mathematics of Article 63. But this case is not only about the mathematics of Article 63. The case is also about the constitutionality of the conduct of the Electoral Commission, chairperson. And then also, more materially, about whether and the extent to which the declaration that she made is constitutional. Okay, that is an important point that we keep emphasizing. But it looks like there is an attempt in the media to reduce this case only to one issue. We underscore the point that this is the first time in the history of our democracy that a chairperson has declared, a person, president-elect, based upon one set of figures, and then subsequently, repeatedly revise those figures. The question is, and I keep saying, can you put something on nothing and expect it to stand? It will not stand. And we are asking the court to declare that her conduct in terms of revision did not comport with law, did not comport with the Constitution, and therefore should be that declaration, together with the President-elect Declaration Instrument, CI 135, should be declared null and void and of no effect. And that has constitutional consequences. Of course, we cannot comment on the constitutional consequences because that is left to the court. But we are inviting the court to declare that her declaration, together with the instrument based upon which that declaration is now law, and for which reason Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was sworn in as President of the Republic, are unconstitutional. That is an important point that you in the media must bear in mind. Any other questions?
Now, the last time when Dr. Kwesa White tested before the court, your colleagues on the other side were saying that if indeed Rojo was the one who the EC chair spoke to, he should come testify. Now he has come, and per the paragraphs that your colleagues on the other side were asking that be struck out, is there an indication that they will not be comfortable having Rojo testify before the court?
Well, that is a very obvious point, in the sense that they were saying Kwesa White, basically was giving hearsay evidence. Now, the person who was, in the strong room with him and who can corroborate what he's saying is being invited to give evidence. And the same people who said Rojo Metil-Nunu ought to have been called are now saying that he should not, be allowed to present evidence in full in respect of the facts that, of events that took place in the strong room. Now, I'll leave that to your judgment, and I wouldn't want to go beyond commenting on whether or not, the evidence that, he will give will corroborate what Kwesa White, provided to the court. All right. So,
thank you. Let me do the trick. Okay. Yo, anyanum, say, and then you see our court in 8 years. Anka enne enanka ye dansinia otosomiensa anka oba begina adekan wakasa muhu se enam nsemsem binti anka ye no fa abefu fidie so na obia ahwe no TV so nanso eye yenuanom a ewo eye Nana Akufo-Addo ne lawyers esoro gina wo se ensem na ye dansi dini no ode abetu dwa no ensem bebre wo mo mpesi yi firimu ti se mre bi se ne omo ye no se nsem omo ka nanu nso a eye Dr. Kwesa White ba no wo mo ano mo ka se Dr. Kwesa White no no na oni isi kasa ye nti awo senka ne oni isi kasa ne na eba se ne oni isi kasa ne ankasa aba nso a mo se ne nsem na ode ba no eye eduasa miensa no omayi nka ompese yi eye eduonu miensa firimu eye eduasa mienu ko ompese nke yi eduasa miensa firimu 23 na nso ko wie tire no Supreme Court say emu enum pe en obeye firimu ti minimum ka say 32 no a ye de baaye no emu enum epe en be firi so nti asamo e de baaye ni na ne dodo na nkasa ejina ne nanso a enye se we ntinyame ya dom na doade ye ba enne ye nipa no be wura daka mu na ne wo se o ka kire amanfo no waka kire amanfo emi da mase.
Our flag guys. So first I come back.
The protocol the protocol we didn't keep to the protocol. Which protocol? We said they were supposed to come. First.
No, but you say that doesn't mean it's no. We are discussing. We are discussing. We are discussing.
Colleagues, good afternoon. It's been a long day in court, and we have an opportunity to share with you a few remarks from our side as we wind down today's activities. As I mentioned, it's been long, but it's been a necessary exercise of going through some objections and then hearing the responses and having the court make a determination of what it would allow and what it would not allow in the witness statement. Let me start by recapping where we are in this trial and why we are here. The petitioner, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, former President of the Republic, invoked the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, among other things, to say that based on the data contained in the declaration of the first respondent and the second respondent being declared as President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, no candidate will obtain more than 50% of the valid votes cast as required by Article 63(3). The petition also essentially makes the argument that the threshold of Article 63.3 was not met, and that the declaration was in violation of Article 63.3. Goes on further to say that there were errors and mistakes and other things which will materially affect this election, and outlined 5 witnesses who would help adduce evidence to prove same. We all witnessed Mr. Johnson Asiedu Nketia come into the witness box and give testimony, and I think the jury is out on whether or not he was able to establish any of these things. And then we had Dr. Kpesa White take the witness box and mostly lead evidence to the effect that they considered that they were deceived by the EC chair to leave the strong room when the national or the presidential final results were being collated. Indeed, the word he used was that he was instructed, and subsequently he admitted that he cannot be instructed by the EC chair. Now, today, the petitioner introduced a 3rd witness, Mr. Rojo Metil Nunu, who was one of those 2 in the strong room, who is the one that we were all expecting would take the witness box initially. And there were a number of paragraphs that he had outlined that he wanted to adduce before the court, some of which we objected to. In the end, the court upheld what we believe are some of the most substantial ones, paragraphs 4, 5, 6, 7, and 18. The court upheld those ones and struck it out. On Monday, we are coming in for cross-examination. Like they say, it's one thing putting something before the court, it's another thing defending it when it comes to cross-examination. And so, counsel on our side, and we believe counsel on the side of the first respondent, look forward to an opportunity on Monday to now put the paragraphs that have been admitted in Rojo's witness statement to the test under cross-examination. Essentially, that is what has happened today, as I'm sure you are aware. We are happy that finally Rojo will be in the witness box so that some very important questions can be put to him, and the bench or the court can take judicial notice of whether or not those answers to those questions and those arguments that are being proffered go in any way to help deal with the issues before the court. And as I wrap up, let me take you through the issues. Sometimes when you follow the long conversations, you forget what the court is trying to answer. The court is answering 1 question of law, 3 questions of fact, and 1 question of law that arises as a result of a fact. The question of law is whether or not the petitioner in his petition has any reasonable cause of action. The questions of fact are whether or not, based on the data, nobody got 50%. Whether or not the Article 63.3 threshold was met is a question of law, as I've mentioned earlier. But whether or not you include or exclude Techim and South, does it change? And then the other question of fact is whether or not all the so-called errors and vote padding affect the outcome of the presidential election results. The last question of law, which comes from fact, is whether or not the declaration will therefore be in violation of Article 63.3. If you find that at all material times Nana Akufo-Addo exceeded the 50% threshold, then that question of law will be answered in his favor, that then it was not unconstitutional. So we believe that we are making progress gradually. We are at a point where the 3rd witness will be put in the box, and we'll see whether his argument stands up. What is interesting to note is that when our colleagues don't get a win in the wells of the Supreme Court, when they come, they say the decisions don't make sense, that the court is not being fair to them, etc. But today, you notice that as they got some of their arguments upheld, they seem to think that the court is the best so far. But we'll live to see what is out ahead of us. They describe it as a great victory. And let me explain to you why they describe it as a great victory. They describe it as a great victory because they realize that Dr. Kpesa White's testimony fell flat, could not stand the test of time. And therefore, they've tried to bring in Rojo, who initially they came with some reasons not to bring, so that he can. And if you listen to the arguments of counsel for plaintiff, Mr. Chachuchi Kata, he makes the argument that during cross-examination, some very significant damage was made to the argument. And therefore, it is proper for them to bring in Rojo to try and re-establish some of those ones. So for them, if many of them had been struck out, it would be a very devastating day because then he goes to buttress the point that where Rojo failed, where Kpesa White failed, nobody can attempt to save him. Now, they seek to bring in Rojo to try and save Kpesa White where he fell flat. And we are pleased that at least they are no longer trying to poison the minds of the public against the court. We look forward to what Monday will bring. We'll take your questions.
All right, so the first question I ask is that today in court, after lawyer for the petitioner finished his submissions, we saw the lawyer for the Electoral Commission, the first respondent, making an argument that it appears the court it seems to be going a certain direction in a petition where they are allowing the petitioners to speak before the respondents when it's supposed to be the petitioners first before the respondents. Is this something that you identify with as second respondents? Because I didn't hear your lawyer talk about it. Are you going to raise issues with it?
That's true. Well, let me quickly respond to that. What the counsel for the first respondent said was to draw the attention of the court to the fact that the procedure as it's unfolding, it appears to be deviating from the norm. The norm is that the petitioner makes his case first, and then the respondent responds. And even by CI 99, you are not allowed the opportunity of a reply. If you look at witness statements, for example, the petitioner refused the orders of the
morning. Kukran to me 6:55. Akwaba. Yes, I did. Now, Junjun so Ababe Kahon. Nina Ghana ye the entire Femina Kojo Jantua Jumedi Saturday's edition. Yakanina boom. Ye see now watching Winina Niakan boom. Dear will be a dream, you know. I'm on your phone about Chuma dream. Ghana phones of Chuma dream. Yes, I say I'm here live on Facebook. Insura 104.5, Insura TV, Twitter and Instagram, Jumedi Friend Kukran to me, Kukru, near her say to me. I am on your Sam Nelson Nina Kosi, national development. Politics, I hear Nina, and Tofanina, national development. And of course, Bernard Kusia Pia, producer one. Ofia, making sure Sebus are putting in answer Baba Kainsa. Raphael Safo Patrick here, MPP Ashanti Regional Communication Team Member, Honorable Afrifaya Mwaponko, NDC former MC Joso Jobin, Dr. Divine Gabriel Brefo, Executive Director, Greenbelt Economic Development Ghana and Social Commentator. Omune ne Jumedi new Mubabidi. Be a church and now Jane said they were 10 your man. I say Supreme Court this week. Obia cannot drain your church Musen. I want to see us here the air costume. NDC 4 will my drink home. MPP 4 will my drink home. Nagana phones for your drink training in Nikusi saying live on Insura. I say was Supreme Court in 70 Ohio would be bet me a Kabu Honswa Intiminka. Yembe judge because you're Supreme Court judges. Nemum, you bet me a church, I drink a crack after home. The SCN, you bet me a church, I drink Nemum, the NC any day. Yentiminka Wasem. Call Insura FM, your Facebook live. Now, F4 Jumpo Ebra. COVID-19, no saying, Confortress, Omuvasi, no still now, no Musrusia, Bompania, the Ghana, Yan Kasa, Yamfa, your baby Droyan, Yamfa, because COVID-19 vaccine in Yambai, a baby Droyan, you should go for say, I'm dating a buying for any encore. Celebrate, baby Droya, your GD say, bet me a boy. Yeah, they are sa, I'm a baby answer you okay. Because now no coming Chromes, your Pomoke and Westy, dear, woman to buyer, and no one to say, bet me about COVID-19. Ne tofani nyina no said drone so etimi boa malaria. Etimi boa malaria so. because we have some hydrochloroquine on also can no de sa yade COVID-19 no hydrochloroquine so yade some malaria yade yanso ya wo nro ni bebre wa ha enti vitamin C so ya wo bebre so wa ha azithromycin so ya wo bi bebre wa ha zinc ya bebre wa ha enti prekese ni ginger ne hwentie yi ni bibidro ya de sa malaria ya de ya kikabo ma se betimi abo ye wo immune boosting na FDA fo nso agi atum se wono ma etimi boa ma nkomo an nso kosoro adenti ne yankika ni nyina bom because wona wo munya bi te se yen ya nya bi nyina bibidro ya ne de sa ya ye ho atoyi enti se ebetimi abo de adenti na ban no mfa na koma nshem emphasi kan nshem ne mo ma hwehwe ye twen vaccine ne de ye papa nemom kofo busa se vaccine ye koto afri abrochire nanso sanke obi wa ha anyway ye beka ho asem COVID-19 say yade no ano aye den de aba no ano aden che ni nyina this week nyina so ye de ho brief ni update ni nyina so abro say another research aba ever COVID-19 no ho say vaccine ye konya afri hin because UK United Kingdom womu yare na ano aye den no ho na free ba Ghana de no free UK virus foforo na say ama Ghana for de na ekosoro no free UK nemom UK for so e chere say October mu ho ba bi no metimi anya sa aduru no enti in the meantime no say womu train vaccine na say vaccine no wamu de na di free ba China for de na de metimi aye bi na enu timi eku emuan no enti ne tofa ni nyina ne say sa panie ne yesa akonyina fi China China for bi na say cry yet say virus foforo bi asa pie free ho nipa virus 2021 is going to be very interesting. Name Bank of Ghana Governor Wakasa, Dr. Addison Wakasa. Or say the virus now say you know who be ma ese money home no. Ebema amemu no moye dem papa. Because no moon suspect say BBC betimi aba nanso baby edruni from next week on the 10th of February na vetting committee ni betina say President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ministers na wa yiwo mu no afini ye kɔpɛti o mu se abaji o matum se anyi o muntum nanso na watwi yi mu no ye okuyeto ablakwa North Tongue member of parliament said Nansen Mahama Ayariga Edi Bibi call parliament senka eye school fees and cry betue anka yente so na ban ni nyimfiri ho na ban antie enti on de wa hu se MP before mu nyoma dwen se ye be compromise bibia enti o mu so ba to aba pa 13-12 eno anom be ye dwuma kai se emu apai vetting committee 13-13 nemum chairman intimi to aba ni bi chairman eye Joe Wise on intimi to aba ni bi enti na kire se se aye kase vetting committee NDC for one numbers echen MPP for MPP for 12 and NDC for 13 chairman intimi to aba ni bi emranum sanke mu paya enti emfa ni se no ntina de bia anka vetting committee no de bia ye odd se de bia se mu pipe na chairman netimi ato aba ba se se ne de eye pepepe ne mo memramu chairman timi to aba enti de bia no NDC for benya 13 na MPP for nya 12 enti so mu mpewa asempe e be bo tia wo yeko say ye tutia unso e wose ye de ko ye kan say ye de ko parliament an kasane esa to aba foforo na first na MPP for one majority in parliament ni de say bia mu mpe MP biasema na se minister biasema MPP for betimi ato aba no ba se sia ye ka say ye ko parliament e betimi mu ache 137 gise enti yemfa ni se mre bia napo ekeka bi kire for me na MP se ko ba se bia NDC for ni so mu mpe napo a na ko parliament for me na MP so se bia opese odi boni tua boni ka de ene na ate afa so na se napo si kanache interesting It's going to be very interesting. Next week in Yebeka Hwansem, but right now, Nadia, I say one of the things as Speaker of Parliament, right, Abansuma na Bagbeneka, chapter 6 of the Constitution. I say Ghana for to Aba Afi, Omo, and the members of Parliament, you know, Debi Omugusu, you know, and into Omungusu now, who say, chapter 6 of the Constitution, directive principle of state policy, no, Yedi Juma. And so Ghana for the donor problem, then it's a constitution, do do na answer the nibi. Into yes say na near the casem. Let's talk a bit about education. Nemo says I can say there wafa a free fa yamwa ponko. Former MC Josso job in Ofi Hadada. Offer the any time they would do so once a bruni and somebody will move kama. Nano so advice Vima Kotoko, a home seven so PJ Muse Minia and in church and Komefa Kotoko and other matters arising. We want our football back. Eugene, good morning.
Nana, good morning.
Upon to say. Great. Utimi da ye dear.
Nana.
It is well. It is well. Papa, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Upon to say.
Oh, you went.
What time dear? What time dear? And because we remember more time. You wait 5 minutes. Me jam wo buboma. Raphael, what fast we ba mu be ntimi complain. We offer Raphael, Sabo Patrick.
Raphael.
MPP. What fast?
No, that's one number.
Obeba.
Oh, sir.
Over. Obeba. Obenie. But well, researching a point is virus on any baby air connect is close maybe.
Yes, Nana, and no, I'm in Abe Fontaine time, so I'm going research be Nana, only 131 countries.
131 countries.
Yes, our China count. Nana, so it was a COVID, no. COVID in your country be an enyabi. Yes, just 191 countries.
Out of
no, we are seeing COVID nibi. Nya Kenya Nana mostly islands ne. At the I don't know when she then be.
Oh, okay.
Nana research in the church says I will limit school. And as you close school, Emma yare no eba from. Emma spread never from. And I call be Germany. Almost left to lockdown. Almost quite some from schools. But more realize there's a month for schools. Nana especially in Colano. Breaking near the no mudi agro. Now we bam the young conya. That brutal crana system near Kakrano. Utimi who say na yarene kosro. Thomas inclusive schools to be. And an announce or share and now will be this year so mount. Lock countries are locked down. No share numbers. No most country be a new school. No watum. Nana sanity. But Ghana the Intia Mensumedrin say the research is not one fit one fit to approach. And as a research you bet imagine so the country be
because we are in Inti.
Yes, Nana. And so it means Obrenica demographics. Ghana, yeah, sitting on a near man, different from Ubia.
Okay.
And Asha. Tama ye 2 schools mu ma kwan se final year for cultural was in BC no
yeah
na nya record kids they do 20 kra
okay
interview na South African country be Nigeria ye no mu nya na tro wayek was exam no some ka say oh se Ghana ye dia ye students wetimi akwa cultural exam na sinso so bi ama
okay
but na ye ka say no so timi so ba Ghana schools be to say Akosum International School record 41 cases
wow
e was school mo akra bi na ne parents testing no mu so manya bi no mu school authorities amanye so yenya bi de bi e ba ni tifi onya bi na no contact trace nipa 500 koye test next nipa 41 enya bi okwa kra si nipa 28 is an answer say because they say Ghana College school no Oka Ghana nyina they are more than 9 million.
Okay.
Yes, and that is about a third of Ghana population in the school.
But say yen so yen shed down testing bebre. Although say community spread national say won kofo bebre yesu so omu wo bia. Omu contested because omu show sign bia so omu wo bi. Ana
na no issue no. On the final year for the no na eketu bi. Just about 300,000, 400,000 students. But nana we na so pictures you go Facebook. Akola no max na she nana or the ashenity. So when na school bus system no so a problem. Ana nkola ne bebre so na no me day student. Ono na be fie.
Yeah.
Okodum, okodi dwama ne maame, okoton niema, anopa na okɔ school.
And the danger is ne maame so ekojum.
Exactly.
Say onya bia wo de aba be bam ne ba. No ono ane ne ba na da the same room.
Yes.
And ne maame ncheke ye. Ne papa nso ncheke ye.
Yes.
And kra no so be ben o papa be ne maame. That's dangerous.
So na anti research ne say wo close school a eye boama yare na spread no esote.
Hey, same new. School fees nso ye tia o. Hey, school fees in you. It's interesting. Yankee chapter 6, name Cassandra Chum Ampo for her, the public relation unit or the Aba a senior high school placement for 2020-2021 academic year. No. Management management of the Ghana Education Service wishes to announce that preparations are ongoing for the release of senior high school placement for the 2020-2021 academic year. Management also advises the general public to beware of fake news portals and rather follow GES official social media handles on Facebook. That is gsgovernment.gh, Twitter at GS Edu Service, Instagram at GH Edu Service, and the website ges.gov.gh for credible information. Raphael, making can you? Finally, we wish to assure parents on guidance, candidates, and the general public that we remain committed to ensuring a smooth merit-based senior high school placement process under established guidelines and look forward to their full cooperation in this regard. We and the top of the say 2020-2021 academic year no placement no one no more senior high school no more babe shasia nemo munche ye fake news no obenwane say bia ye nkan ye say OGS say was there bi nemo kwan ade bi omo fa so a omo de junior high school for no senior high school no sa pepepe no mo be fa so aninti mungusua na muntie de GS kasa enye de enkrofo eka na mahwe yi ewo ho Isra 104.5 Kokura Ntumi na Raphael Safo Patrick ewaha ena ofa Afrifa Yamwa Ponko enso ewaha enti Supreme Court this week dear senior kan wasenye de nyansi ye COVID-19 and matters arising ni nyina so yebeka ho asem akwaba Bona Rive.
Welcome, with the Lord,
I'm at the easy struggle.
Welcome, with the Lord, Aquaba, Bon Arrive, Bahambora, Zimbera Mama Zimbe, 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 Zimbera Mama Zimbe. Now we welcome you in the name of the Lord.
Doesn't mean the standard have been dispatched with. Now the questions are going to be put to him to see whether his argument, what they tell the NDC supporters, what he told the supporters, whether I can stand the test of scrutiny in court. And that's why we're very pleased at where we are. Remember, a case is now being made, and we are now at the point where we are cross-examining that case. When it is done, if we have to now get into a full response, then we'll get into it. I want to say thank you and invite my colleague Fatih to sum up in chief for us.
Lawyers always giving us different interpretations when they come out from court. Why NDC? Okay, all right, okay. Anyway, Henry De Pablo and so Bismarck Owusu, all right, you bring numerous of issues to be addressed by the court, and your opponent opposed to some, and court granted them 5 out of the numbers of issues you present. You said it's victory. What victory? Abina Anima, okay, obey the free year. Kojo Asempa Furniture Works. I'm in Yampon Christopher. Good morning to you. That boy fella, good morning. Alesso say Opoku, good morning. And Nana Ama Apia, good morning. Benjamin Japan, good morning. God love Edu Dankonesta. Nana Berfi, good morning. The Black Copa America, good morning. Omunyanso Eshe, Maminko Nayensha say with the discussion. Over good morning, dear. Napume.
Oh, you want it.
Rafa, good morning.
Nana, Nyami crying. Nana, also want to say, I'm a way.
Me pefugu pa antia to be mammy.
The bepa na seven. Hopefully this week may so tight in Tibia. Nyami ado me money pour the be bremen na brewery.
Mate, me pepa. Fugudia, me pepa.
Na offense me who na che.
Oh, sir.
Over you.
Over what passes who watch it? Now, one Tiana.
Maybe offer your bill, them.
Oh,
yeah. Okay,
maybe
over Yamwa. Mamma say you're free fire Mopon. I say Yamwa.
Let's all the old son of Behuno. Nadia said to you.
But the two only two Facebook in Amranti and a casse. Any lady at Temidi Machia. Oh,
so far, dear.
Was it only Facebook? No,
I say Facebook with you, too many names we are twice. Obi a wotumi throw Facebook say just one cousin papa bi amfendi si hoda didi atemsa
ofa na wo ka bi fa
me ya na me ko hu na me jaw se ko
ofa na wo ya ka bi ma MPP
somebody baby why should I talk even about them
are they
there be other say me dia so me no me wie metimi
se wuni anu
na makoso obi de
ofa se wuni anu
de wo botra no oba no otwia da pa nsem hunu bebre Etienne being
now was working Kabiat.
Would the yes, I can be chairman politically. Nana Jantua.
As all attacking
personal attack now.
Personal attacks into the bear programs.
Okay.
My personal.
Yes, that here. That way,
not was who watch it.
Mimusas.
I have a trial of us here near Banya, the Adinimu.
Of about 2 years
of to one city soon I'm smitten back. So just started. That's all.
It will need to offer us in our watch.
Oh, Bema young queen.
Is it what you mean, man? As I say,
it is Bibliba making a same home.
This is any abrenon. When I say it, they did the papa.
Of it to send him.
You were dumb.
Okay. Yes,
man, when I had ding. You see, oh man, you whom baby a echo. Say a refusem. Ghana
Obieu
afedie no bi wunkwa na ye bobna
bi asha se free
I mean enipa ho hihwo mu nipa ho kire wo mu sa enada bia wo de ka ko petrol dumper no matter the filling station kura wako ye bebu awie na ansa guti etidi ekoso wo mu petrol is terrible apart from petrol there's a whole lot of things I mean nipa mo hihina nkasa
MPP kwana ama ashishina na azedai ehase MPP breso nkwana
asemu a ubusa me
ofase me busa question
we na ya na binum kase judges bi e wo ba bi lawyer fu bi kura no mu e kire mo sadu mu nsin ko mu asem sa na binum adu kire mo
okay
ya mu nsem busa no enu na kire the type of answer yen fema mo
sese
Ghana fu ho hihwo mu na Ghana fu bo Ghana fu hu de eko no mo ka eno so no ada na ebusa se MPP nko a
there be some ebusa
se abanu aya wo so otiso no aya otiso no aban benya
MPP aban
so then what should you ask me again?
I'm just asking say we nko na ehu because ka say hihye I just want to know say be a current one that say ahun hihye na more ana say den
enti opese me ka enura de na etwem ko no asem
me busa question keke ofa
enura se me to garedi adua atremienu 1 cedi na se konne na me to no 2 cedis ya adentina pese me kenura de no
ofa say no so nche sem intimi busa question ana
na so question no busa no na make say question we no enya question papa
okay but
the Americans say o man no se say baby a edro no ano den yie pa awofo sese kura de mente se awofo ka free SHS bi ewu if you say awofo no sika wo mu se wo mu ma ho no ama wo mu refi kura se Ghana kura yesi free bibi free SHS na abenya ya wo tisu yi a sese wo tisu illegally
Oka president na Akufo-Addo ana
na su aban won da no wo tisu illegally
okay according to you
na ade wo na wo kasa
okay
seven wo busu masam na de na abu
there be some person me distinguish the Oka no
abenya ya wo tisu illegally baby o de Ghana ko sesen ehu yi pa na se ya mpamu anka wa bi o ne beka etiania ade no eda ho no ekoso no enye no a affect obia ai vin what na kure ni me beba no ade ntini enka ho asabe mpamu nka no kure na dantoa I mean the question obusa me na me gusu yi wa no no nti se de ato de den ene memu e den pa nanso benim se yehu atiase
no semna ne ka kona na
semna no asiase
okay
ewiem yesi anya ni sachara na so tiase be de me wo areshe mu wo gidi se abano a yeto ye no a Ghana for dodo no atutia na Akufo-Addo ene ne MPP aban no enche enukre bi omu bi abededi ama de Ghana for no omu hwehwe kan no a yede mfufun dane wo mu kwae no abem
na Ghana for hwede
na Ghana for ehwehwe se yebeyi na Akufo-Addo ni MPP aban afri ho and that is exactly what they did every region with the exception of about mienumien nipa dodo no a kire se omu mpe na Akufo-Addo ene na bai and so yeto abani wiye no emfunso se na ye anida ho se na anya anida ho no funso kase bi bai ai se metie na obebo midin yamwa kwa free fire mo ponko no akwa bu obi din obi aya wosi wo yi that is why you mistake and so maybe mum na person obum din nti minim say setie bia de na Ghana for hwepa na bebem anya me na make sama Ghana for na eyem ye hunu ye Ghana for na eye emi ye hunu ye wo mu kire pefe say na Akufo-Addo mfie nan no a wo betra konwa no so wo be ne ma bebre nye nti wo mu mpe no wo mu atuaba ede sesan no na ede yi no nanso obi a won no so hwe abaso no o kika figures na bomu no 6 ekodan 9 and 9 so better than 6 it is what here so what is it your court
aye
what is it Supreme Court kasembi
yeah
anuntina afa nunu mienu akwa court be ka fa nunu mienu that is NDC a ye wodidie se yen na Ghana for dodo to abane maye ye ne ye Frank Atuni John Dramani Mahama ono na Ghana for dodo no to abane ma no anem pokura no ye de ye mpe se obi ebe kai ho asembone ya na akasem bi agu yeso no ye say abanu mre da ho no say ansa ne be kremu se obi adi nkunim no na twos wonya ohamu nchichi mu aduonum a ebigu so a de eguso no nso duru baako de obroni friend 50+1 no na ye hwehwe mu no ye hu se afanunu mienu nyina no obi ani ho a wonya sa figure
NDC for mu hwehwe mu no mun se obi anya
dabi enu ntina akobasi yegina court wa wo flyers ya wo send ma ye no e wo so se yebeka ehu asem
okay
etinana asema abusa me no nenu no
okay
oma no anti oma no aye basa bibie ni we koso
okay
isan se yeni aban papa bia obo manfo no ho bra yeni aba papa bia oman hu hia no yeni aba papa bia odwene ema oman se oman ne dache no ebe ko yie da bi yeni aba papa bia sa sesesi e kasai.
Oh, okay. Of a free fa ya mo aponko Rafa
Nana
okay what the busa
ayinaba aba check mama helper
opening statement 5 minutes
Nana Nana dedi kan ma enfanchi akese ma yetifo na yensa ndam asin shira wa konya ne platform
yes and
we me usman so bia won ntime ni adam aso akonya ne platform me na no pay ma menfa awrechichi sem kese pa nkoma Mr. Kingsley Agyeman oye registrar ma scholarship secretariat Mr. Kingsley Agyeman registrar for scholarship secretariat I think 3 days ago and Mr. Kingsley Agyeman maame wo no oda ne benkum so e wo nkoko Holy Family Government Hospital nti na no pay megina dofo nyina na mu na ye dia rechichi sem kese pa dia ma no na ya sire Nyankopon so hye den yemra emu odin sei na adofo so adin se min sa manfo ahya se ko no church ne re in the midst of COVID enso sa na amamre ne amane ne tie eduru pempen so se ne nipa no akọ ahohihia mu a ugya abo no nko aso ana akoye nsempi nti ye besre inuanom ne adofo ne abusuafo nyina sa alesi mo me nko ne nkoje ne re na si omo betuma frɛ ne phone so emfrɛ ne phone so na alesi enka arechichi sembi enkyere no adin se beboa.
Okay.
The Tosumienu, Nano pay me a Canada Moa. Me a papa Canada Moa, our custom division.
Okay.
Papa Nano pay me chow. Na a Jumacasia, papa or Bono custom division. So, Jerry. I think for the past almost 2 years, I didn't call on my Jumacasia, papa no aye, Kennel, West Sanitia, or their back customs and FAE. Because we're Nana. We Ghana ha no more and I'm say a production no form any intimate produce near my baby into the parodo no import and export ya and na sa division no so na ye de papa ko to yesa obetimi ahwe so ama ono ko fa na free other countries dia ba Ghana ha abeton no obetimi akontrol ma na most times ya na difficulties ne challenge be room ma importers and any exporters ahwe papa na botre ne se de osi eso ne ma no Emma Jedifo and Hoto Mona, you don't remember so basically in your platform, Cassania, Mabaswa, Nehadjuni. Messas as review. It do so be so con any say any patron who on offices are not sabotage. You church any pan in 19 years, say no. Maybe said the cost or customs, no. Nipa crew, I wish I see and so many. No ma Urakan. Then as a bebu who me my general advice. So no 2 sana monos won't giant.
Encophobia says, "Oh, possibly." Miss what has a grab as I go and means empowering home. And he can and so Messer Nipa, yes, as over here, be do be boom on radio, so now they are poor Montuma. Say, Yaku. You see, na Jantua, yes, of I am up on call as a answer me or Mokan streets one or Macassa from 2017. Yes, I didn't say no many more, no many more, Nana Ghana for Anto. Sa o man no Ghana for Anto. You see, or shall say free SHS said na awfobia and come free SHS once and be. Awfo on come once and be because I be part of us. And in 2016, and someone now drank a couple of cars or the free SHS baba now be reduced the burden on the Ghanaian people. No, in 2017, another one fine yes be our politician. And he wakani sa kwa on fine juma truly. About power and so no or the argument. Abe no ma, ade bia be part of us. Nipa nka ho asem bio. Enti of us what is amount for nye free SHS bio na because it has become part of us. And interestingly for the past since last year, the educational system, so you know what has happened to it because of COVID. And I'm coronavirus in nipa priyankwa. Yeah, priyankwa. Yeah, cause we are see makan on several platforms there. Nipa priyankwa even though say education in yema ho hia de. But ye priyankwa. Nti ama your attention nyina so akodi COVID ama affect the educational system. Nti I think so far is not the best platform to come and raise some of this issue. On elections, minimum so person ko na official say. Ti no person me fa free ho abi. Okay. Sansem ya of abetena hanuma o kase na ye koto aba na se ni se. Ye to aba ni we 2020 elections. Sansem ya na the NDC led by Wampanyida da John Mahama. Esha o media o ye dede sa ni ato aba ma winning ya winning majority seat in parliament. John Mahama so we winning elections no. Nanado awe
parliamentary seat NDC awani anya dodo enti ya the electoral commission get to me free in some and our shots here demonstrations, media agitations, the attack on police stations. Yeah, did this na Ghana focus at Debbie. We cannot fight on the street. Abra wa win election na open to abebu mine. Timo van court. Self foot to no Ghana for foot to anka mama ni NDC no fire up on kono. Yes, and I'm here some court. The NDC drew court. Minia. And someone mampanyinda that the petitioner John Mahama account on the street. So I win elections no. Odu court was say. Also I winning. And someone who can on street is here demonstration shit ties say Lord quine attacking police station nyina no omudu court ankasa omonko bodwa no omo nsem omde kodan court no na enka hu bi say oma win elections it is of I am onko betena hanom eka say oma win elections and obi age afiri omo nsem a question na obi a wo tie bi abebusan so fa na mudu court no asem ben na mode kodan court mo se court no dia mo se election dem wan win na dia mo se prekura ni say abato ne ensan koto foforo. That's the only thing I'm going to call Tamose pleading. Sure, yes, I say, we are saying, Modi anansi for Nipami and Sana court. Mudo Ura see Dunkatia, Akojina court, see Musebusan, and because Mujis said, you see a bionimu. Ura see Dunkatia court, or Uncle Sanumuton, or say about 2 the NDC and winning. Now, Modi, the more penny say, you bet Obia winning, yes, I got 12 and 4. As of I am up on Cobetan and in some more canco. Over, dear Uti own penny for some more kind of court today. Court to them, Confessor won't heavy. Yama one of our baby. Me, I'm here when the minister was here, no counsel me. Of one court to 70 into only number, be I see a Dumonso number. Of an annual I said, don't catch your court, I busan and was seminal. Or say, about NDC for one winning. Now, only the more pennies are about to an NDC and winning MPP are winning. It's Abanese and got on for. Right, me no Casan and annual said, don't catch a regional court. Yabusan is about Taebe in teen NDC for bar court or see. Oma court to some be kasa Mama win you. Ne mo mba court to some be kire say the electoral commission na nyina dwuma yi. Eno anu no. Yebusa ne say mo ankasa mo pink sheet a mo kan results bo mu no munya asɛn wantimi anka dodo a munya ya mo so mo dia win of adete anu no. Yebusa se edu nkatia say ne say na mo gidi say na na dodan kwa kufu ado nya ono so onim. In 2013 Yeto 2012 elections we are the MPP here court no. Makatro was an agent to us. Now you cover 26,000 polling station pink sheet. 26,000 polling station pink sheet. And the vice president of this country, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, Ejina television so and make a case to all Ghanaians and San Yako court umpo. Dini kura pink sheet the ejiri say over voting the ejiri say bia mo creative bibi de ka hunya e de kire Ghana for. Azan Yako court. Emma will be at yes, the engineer say I win election in 2012. But as we speak, the NDC for court Omoko a name. Omunkura even shitty bakumpa edi adansi say Omoka omu vote in boom say no munyae. Your friend and sit for me and sir. The second person a friend by apart from saying catch up Pesa White. Pesa White kojina court so go kan nsem nyina no say ono de electoral commissioner ne soma anu ntino de course bi awu no. Ono wakwata wo John Mahama asoma se kosi na nam na kohwe ne labato so ma no no wadansi dia bedi no court nyina se electoral commissioner soma awu ntino de course bi awu no. Now guys me cry ya de me go see polling station wa iguana no obi ka dem se me koton so mre na meko na wakotena polling station se kohwe abato so now say electoral commissioner soma awu ntino de course room aye strong room nyina no wa hunu uso abegina court se enkoje abamfama fe no rojo metrinunu Chono so adansi de bi ode ba ya I think say e court yi bebre afiri mu se nyina so a omo so omo do mo nsem ba court nyina me da makasa asem we say court nsem a manfo bebre say ye mra te radio so no mu di asem na emum court ankasa omu nyina so no botaye ne ba e ba akopɛ say ye be omampanyin dada John Mahama obetimi aye dede saa na ode adi NDC so ode control NDC na asa saa na mu hu no botaye ne nyina no me can last week. Say for the past 3 weeks, Mampanyina da John Mahama na mukra court on see order.
Oh, sir, we busy. I mean, I am for ever banning chain.
For the past 3 weeks, now me and send ye. Who's why winning elections? You have some court on Kodia Sama, now me and send you see court on Kotia. The
repo coho, the vice presidential candidate coho.
Be our winning Mampanyina, 1 year tower, Chakodia Sama, what if you and Wada? And I want to encourage upon your day. Masaka Sassam says lawyer or Kasama Mampanyina da John Mahama Puno. For 3 consecutive times, I check court and trans as 9:30.
abo 9:30 ye sha asem na se no oni ho ura chachu tikata na no omo soma ese enkowe no ye be sha asem na se 9:30 omo ko di fie kura no oni ho ye soma obi ma ne ko ni fie no oni fie ono amu asem no kura hia no uzo tia no se wa we ni aba. The last one I want to say nie Mose ma winning election president Mampanyida Dajo ma winning Mampanyini nti mo pentema bebu man mo court to say instead of the 8 months in 2013 MPP de ko ye di court no yenya no 42 days bosome ba ko ne nakakra bi mamo say ya asejo ma na winning yampa yembu asem no ema Mampanyida Dajo ma say am betima bebu man na nsem a wo ka se Ghana ye den no mo ma ye Ghana yie yakoma mo 42 days nso mo se 42 days ne sadodo Dienya ne Bible so menwotwe obi a wo gidi se wakoma mu pa wa weni abato na yenkodi aba ne ntam a wo se 42 days ni swa kosi enkosi kode enkoda na chese bone adwene wo so abetena ofa say Ghana man ni moyeden na the deliberate attempt of the by the NDC say I say hey you be destabilize them you be ham adwene ye mam kwan ma mu mbu man no and I think say the wo pray sa na obenya me ba metie wo wo kase okuja tabla kwa see enam se na anu omo ye se free second day university bills omo pesa aban no eden omfa ni nyina in 2008 2012 ana na do dan kwa kufu ado e kase free SHS mpo ye betima ye ni free no ndc fo ya akogina baabi e be kan se free SHS mpo enye ye amu ba kire sika amu de be ye ene the NDC for our chalk component muntimi provide chalk. The NDC for teacher training allowance omucham. NDC for nursing training allowance omucham. NDC for sikasem ti dum so mfie nan yantimi ansolve. NDC for chese na sika ho odin ma omo nti omo so oman omo ntimi ambuo no ene. Omo na ehye Akufo Addo say onkoye university free, especially when free SHS aye mpo no mugidi se enyansi pinwie se nya bone ene wan dis fo tiri mu a free SHS has ya fe ne nya mfie miensa. There are series of issues we are solving the problems yenya miai musi ye beya me ahwe na se hu sika mpo no ye nim burden na what government so in the midst of COVID na mu masa akotena parliament mu se wusum aban fidi bone na yino masa abetan kya kasa aban na nya de Ghana ni bia na dwene mu da ho bia hunu se sa de da na NDC for in parliament say yenye tertiary se free o se yam obi anko university kwano na ntiase bia nyeda enim and lastly connecting this one to the vet appointment committee no mini ana na jantoa
yes
hwe Matthew Opoku Prempeh o star Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh o star the competence and the exceptional performance at the education ministry am obi ahu se papa no or exceptional. No matter baby out in the better or a star player. And the argument, maybe it is will make one reference be to Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh said just in case say appointment committee be this is what they will do. Hey, whatever we will do. And then they say Kwaku Trump black energy minister. Matthew Opoku Prempeh will be the energy minister to make sure say Juma power and education ministry no better baby energy. Now they are sanitizing, consolidating the power supply at Ghana for all the sectors are a war education ministry, energy ministry. Nananya unkwana wokasa asemoyo. Nanu kuobi mrantiebi. Omso omo this Africa Watch and this for mrantiebi say come na do omo unhunu. Say omo the press statement about omo say omo the petition comma appointment committee say omo gidi say Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh ne some about 5 ministers we ini say approve omo. Say the policy the star players of Akufo Addo's government, the Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho say, "Oh, Akufo Addo abayi mu." Almost all mumpe womu. Na me mentesi ye. Say, Matthew Opoku Prempeh no musa no. Oma ye NDC for a day. She knew your time. Now one of the reasons omu issue against Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh ne say, o change curriculum. We nyanza wo. Oma biya ni ho a wa anye so developmental in terms of your education abetima ko anim. In 1992, na JSS buy no correct syllabus niema na yesua technical skills, technical drawing. Eduru mrebi ne hu se da bi technical skills, technical drawing is our vocational skills and yesua no. I see a change syllabus nim na see asesam. Enei ya do technology, ya use digital. Enti uduru mpempenso bi na niema ye no 1990. Ukase no ana obekire unkwala wo man mu a o man be ka chiri.
That's a pretech is still relevant.
No, it's still, I'm not saying it's not relevant, but the digitization need technology so abeka ho. Nti so man bia wo chechere. That's one change your curriculum and your syllabus to meet the direction of the world. Now obietimi akotwere a petition. I raise one of the concerns to say Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as education minister no change curriculum ni syllabus nti we don't want him as a minister at energy ministry. And I want to say this. Say Matthew Opoku Prempeh as Antimai this year or Ghana this year, one of the hard working and performing ministers Yahunu Ghana who said you saw even the introduction of free SHS is an evident. When the NDC saw it as impossible, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh nominated the deputy Dr. Duchumunum and the people at the education ministry saw to it that the free SHS has come to stay. Right. What is left? And they say, "Betty, mobilize resources to ensure the permanent stay of the." Now we can.
Netami de Bema. Oh, I can't 1 minute. Of at the same time, and don't worry.
When we say no, Nana Jantwa.
Offer no more coffee.
In conclusion,
yeah,
the making and say. Ministers are you or money, and this if one be determine whether somebody will become a minister or not. Sound no munjai.
Okay.
Omunjai sound no hunano. Na some quatana be bopo, and I will be a minister. I am for Mount Okujato. Sa appointment where you have been my woe. And yet I way yet how come see yet Matthew, yet I will. And you know never man this yaba power. Sankomo pa. Omunoma kuma ye. Not Ghana for who's a jump power.
Okay.
That's all Mubajin China. We are dragging our feet. You are dragging your feet to make sure, say, we don't make my boy at the Chomanian for Momano.
Okay.
And why in this in any way?
Thank you very much. Raphael Safo Patrick Okasa 15 minutes. Offer 15 minutes. 7:40.
And also for the can bear 10 minutes.
Oh, no, na me de ye shase no. Me dini nyina ka ho. O prelims man fan ka ho. Nti na 20 minutes. Aha, but offer 7:40.
Yes, I'm say nipa ni bi da so campaign mood.
Nipa ni
Krachi okasa sisi.
O ofase.
Be man you to you okasa sisi.
Raphael now kan wasem.
Your friend say Raphael. Me ni brofudin ti ana brofudin bi o kura me.
Okay, Safo Patrick. Oh, Safo.
Okay. Safo. Ufre adanwa. Oh, sir. Eti the attention say, "Yes, some more kika hinina." Hey, normal, video campaign in some and then tronia the ade. But I'm some now. Ubusa no ankasa no. He veered off. Just say, "Wo free mukra kika nsim no bebre." Share. Asabna wo court no. Say now me catch was a big crime the hair and me pese. Me can be apart from BBS friend contempt me. Just say there are a whole lot of technicalities. It is a one you who need the be. Now on TBB as now mum chrono but radio so. Now o pretend they said the air cost or tears now start this okay car. If you be baby crowd by now or so. Your professors were mutie. Your law lecturers were mutie. You want penny for lawyer for I can see baby. Oh, crazy money needing.
Oh,
now, as I'm never caught in the acre. Ubia can't do him. And I'm what? I did the 40 wa almost so treachery 80 a record year near my baby. Eddie Nane make the Aminqua Mafemua. As I'm so far as ya, any impute to be a woman. Dear any pep one more impute to no one more wounding dear no more canoe. And when one more carry any as you are better now, ye do a bobonia and me fish we are wasting our time. Let's leave it to them. What did the American say? Safo Patrick Etia can't cry just to, say, you're crying this in immediate. Yeah. Oh, God. Fine. When I walk up, who am I to, fight you? You need me the air, and she will court. You need me the air, and she will court to me and Pamu.
Of us are watching about how.
Say,
we know.
You need the air, and she will court. Your lawyer for no cassa, they are the phony tea. Obia, Oma dansi biya nso oma judge for nitie. Eje bode mo nkoso na mo kandi mo nim. Yesu abekoso akade edim. Na be sure say emna no so say judge for no wo mu bu asem no a ombebua. Ama Ghana ni biya nso hu. Die ebeko. Na nka mremme kwase kabi pa kekensem wom kwa yetimi kase die besie ni a nka obeto aso but emna na mekwan sa
that so far the SC who ni say
so far so good
sir
so far so good why not see you go so ka asem no kra media me little knowledge about the ekoso no em sa asem no enu anko ankora na start edi asem no
oh ade
sa na me di me hu no
oh okay because
the ekoso e free brother ko nyina no obia onim hu bia otie e ka say ya free 3 witnesses ya free 3 witnesses o 2 witnesses and akasa afa na de otoso miensa no obekasa etu kasa okra no wo se me say de ekoso okra me hwe say won okra on de na ni kura fra kura but so no make say
I'll make a Monday no make
so
statement ni mo fa
and someone na wotra ha wo kan na sa wo mo mmenento asem ni akasesem ni ayesem no on de akwa we na so no wo papa they can say kana no aye nyina ye pre si e beba besom ahwe ama amamu papa koso no enye enu ni hu ni nei oti ase apart from say modern tro ena bagi to me dia kodam and tro ni to me no amwa mumfie na yamudi ye no ana Ghana for koto aba na ye to aba no so yato atiam ana mode patapa ene eniema bi enye pese mode efa to me no na so to me no so de enya de abobani ananya ntra efise mmra kwaso mmra mu ni babia mu no masa ade amu ye nyina no emfekwem na unim ade ba ko mu ye confused MPP fraternity na Kufuor ni Nkrofo case na wo court no se be de maka o me se ye mu bi no ye nya daje ne lawyer fo papa fo pa transe mo mu kire mu it's not about pinches here pinches there it's about the constitutionality about the what declaration. These people, we will surprise them. I'm saying, the cost of woman tears here. Where was it? One of the one I wanted the economics. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, kind of court to say no. It's not about pinches. You'll be defined. Yes, you. Eko kunkumuni Paul Techimayo. You can see a busa say declaration. No, James, I know. Is it constitutional? I mean, bunya butre. I found out, as far as I'm concerned, and one year shall seven. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you go so. That no me bekan of the case so. Me say, Adiam, you no penny here. And Quania who ding. Say, you when you could that robot, the baby. Now, any time was some way you no. And Quafford because, say, Nanette, yeah. No, so I late. We electoral commissioner. Emra na adi yaduma. Emra na udi obibia. Ya to abewie. Ya kenkan. Even your mode of collecting results on Ukraine. Constitutionally, there were so many defects. Your mode of transmitting the results from one place to another, and also, and lastly, your mode of even telling the general public, say abano, nana jantwa na weni ye, no the abase na weni ye no, and also that is what we are fighting. A constitutional issue. So you can as a constitution, you interpret na constitution say, and you say yeah, we take it that way. It is a free drug. Road will be cast via. Nafe Mami G Mensa, the Alpha and Omega. Or also Tatuchi Kata de Nijina box Unumua. Ye. I wonder your best at your things.
Na say is one yam, I don't know which one for need to say there or all cocky KG.
Are they Obiso Omre?
The way we see more Canada. No,
of course. Because, yes, see, Mamino,
I loyal. Oh, yeah, lawyer.
I'll lay a phone for a call to the bill. So then what are you talking about? Because when the good case, what would the case be so bad?
According to NDC.
According to every woman in Ghanaian. What Ghana? And even the world at large.
I say Nana Akufo-Addo and Winnie.
What's our Yakusi?
The same no,
Obia Nana Akufo-Addo and Nikoto. I'm some money, no, Adia Metia Americano. But
the import of
Nana Akufo-Addo, Obia, and this in fact Nana Akufo-Addo could not court.
That is a fact.
So educators, one court.
Only easy in a court.
And so then why should you mention the name of
Akufo-Addo? Because the outcome
why a star player, more money didn't come into maintenance. It depends what bong. I demand what me yet. Hey, no, hey, let him talk. What bong? Mr. What bong? You can't say that.
Whoa, look at you.
Yes.
Look at you.
Look at you.
Head
your man. Hey. Nana the American say you be pat the men's huntuma.
Okay.
Tetu tiketa. And then the domino ever pat the men's huntuma. We are talking about the constitution. Its interpretation. I know that from Monday no afena elipana dodono. The person will take a seminar court to Nasipano. The person will take a betiasi. You're not talking about princess. No. We have moved from the old order. She said 2012-13. No. Constitution. Any public near me, woman, and near me, say, yeah, any public ye. From Monday, God's willing. Yes, because 2 minutes crowd one out there, I shall bat one soon. And they talk about no deal. Yes, no. And yes, if I had you. It is the moment here. Pakukwa Humbatotman, you be so dear. And that is what we are going to do. Yeah, you did your money, say, Dimensa. One flat. I mean, I'm not sure to one. You know the year, Dumano. Or collect results, or transmit you, or declare, Nina, she fumbled. And we are going to use the constitution. We are going to use what is enshrined in the very constitution to bring her down. A honor, and will be a OTN. So, yeah, MPP, so I one who said, but no 2 years. Say, quite say, not, Mamino. What you are fast, who are any brem into breadino. Simplicity. Well, Safu, you want to Wakasi, a Kofa, a Dangmase, a pinch it in our Casacot. There you, Safu. That's any, you know. And that's you have a quad Dangmase, a Kofa, or pinch it. Tell it. Yeah. Tie. Safu. The American say, young Kofa Dangmase, a Dangmase pinch it, my home. It is a so on Tiabia Nasia, as a minute, and Brandon so kutupa. Safayadman so uyusuyana. Nasa uyusu mranwa, say to you so no. As a minute, it won't Nana. Somewhere last week, what the better was Fidicasi. Me 2 million man this for say, look. Sorry, leaves in near me beer, court no striking out.
Yeah.
Mumma young fun is a court no tie and we use any money free. Here, I don't pay me free fever. Now, oh, boy, SSB, interview bi a em say o sister station Adom one of the ladies Asempa lawyer no wa ben pa na me drive na the way all kasa no it means say adia no tiase ama me kura no pa me tie sa de na ama matiri em ba bi ase mo he's a good lawyer sani ade me de hu me susu di a me de hwa de no eti sani ade no ko eti Safo Patrick eh sa da nwoma se pinshi dia wo double no utwitwa gu mu no ade so dia mu wi bi di say mu no ene over 300,000 votes wa mu wi mu di gu mu wo santime mu ha no nya no ne yekoka no court ho to
all right
na se na mi free kan ya che mu wiem kono badi na nya na mutama mfo bi ka say Mukosia Morida Tamafia or Caso Adian would check go. Oh, Jody Faco, Taman for Biso.
Evidence in Yamudia. Modiaco. Get the Adian. Another than to let me be somebody as evidence. Uti, Aquayus, we, Safo Patrick. Wafa. Said Nami will to me a time I had to Abano. Yeah. And can the car come and see Nisiho. Sadia Nebigum. Come and say, Mr. W. Make 1 hour from all cake and say, oh, Nanagantua. Me walk, okay, offer, so new or say, or say, no, that's all. What I'm telling you. Wait, defamation, I'm telling you. One to know your back. That will make one because Sadia no be good can. Oba be share mo court. Oh, triaka yo. Edi nana. Asem no. En kan kamesre bi ni anu mandi. En so ma ka kare hu. Utie. Me public image na didi agro no. Say me mako wi ballot box. E dey agu kam. We so we image here intact. Oba share mo court. Na ya twon fom a. Obesu. Edi the American say. Na don't worry. Yes, over. Obia was here koka adanuma se. Ade di so pinches you once be hadona ade no ni mu de wo kan wo on tiase de na koka enti bebe ma kan enti wo na kra no se me tiase o o fa de ma ye de asabu ma ka nso wo so sa to be kwachire me ntwi nkwachi me bu se akwa wa ya gura se na ntwi na so no na we safu ye o to enti de me ka to no ye ko kamera de ko ka za di mensa Emra no so kutu pase so ya 1 2 3 no eno na ya na Safini ena omo hudu oh picture edunim de no omo ye somewhere last 2 weeks now omo mpani phone bi started frefre NDC pulling agents so me sign pin sheet mo sa omo ni mu yo omo ka say Niti dia kwaso bebrebe na yesem ye kan yanka ade beche me pese me hu o si hwan mu na na Safo Patrick ye oto wi o mu na na frefre DC agents o nsem a wo kan die na den nsem no me wani mu ha na mte America yo be me mfa me wo so okay say Raphael wani ye wani kro Freddy we mo mra mesin san ye mbedu maye na mo ka say pin sheet nsem na ye ko kan court we are dealing with the constitution. Okay. And the constitution is going to tell us, say, and the man mensa here, no, na a constitution, na. Oh, simplicity. Okay. Insha 104.5 about cho. What do you want to? I don't want to. Yeah. Nana John to mami nyime ni mesro. Kuro na ode nipa nim guase hu. Amen kasa asem we. Ase ne wa ma wo ho kwan ma me ofaya mo aponko. Akan sembe bre agu me hu fin bebre on platform David o hu ye fian to no Nana Johnson you are here and I know so much and you have no we are senior journalist okroma I know and tell how many panin cancer mum family who say me wi answer no akase me go no because but you don't do that because I asked him certain specific questions the gentle I think I take offense to this Mate where you that's why you want very from police no anyone want threaten me kasa wi am me so ube you hu afiri mu nyasa wo ni mienu nyina wo be chairman court I'm telling you offer no take this take this from me. Over here. Over us and then 2 minutes for that. You are insisting. You can ask all your sure. Nana tie.
Minti me nyimi hu mfiri mu sa Asante politics. I am a young man aminya bie.
Yeah.
Asante mama manyosema yeye no. Bibie no ebe ni kroma menka ho. Abato ne bobo yebe me campaign. Me ye ni nyina bi fitire di chema untumi achi. The hard working regional chairman and executive to make sure that 2020 elections we won emphatically. Allegations are any so better platform so now can me electoral materials egumikam me share a serious and dangerous indictment
on my asked him of the evidence. And
what did you so? What kind of sign? So many giants.
But I asked him, and
as a so many giants. It would
have been different when you are not.
No, Nana. He went to the extent of also saying, say, me and I'm friend this for so many sign pink sheet.
And Raphael, you are here. And
no,
that is what I'm giving you the time.
You see,
let's be fair. Let's be fair.
No.
Raphael, be fair to me. Issue never ye. Menka say on Kanisa. I asked him question, and I'm in so waha, and I'm cancer chro because I'll give you that opportunity. Because Kabi and Dr. Nebekasa, but I've given you the opportunity to respond. And whatever you want to say,
Nana don't to you free. Me give you free. Medasi. I'm telling you, surprise me. Who ya mema say? Nana of me chwase. Ya to so me no. Nana don't to tie. You see, when you am NDC for name be omo ye say. Chachuchi kata eni Jemensa, chachuchi kata ni Jemensa dan ye be sie no. Matia Ora Maliba Crowd or sing. On also didn't cook. Eda Chatuti Kata DJ Mensa Begina Cotono, Yama holiday. School phone go school, a jelly phone go jump, radio. What do you go say? Because I said that would be a bit. Sure. Over. Also, I can be one.
2 minutes for this one.
I owe my real
doctor.
The amount of one tears and
oh, that's the doctor.
J. Mensa, why a lawyer? Over Ghana, I mabe numwa. Law, Jumanomotia, Mammy J. Mensa. 16 years in law practice. Yeah. And why am Rasam? And
then so see Mrani Trust.
No, over him, Chachuchi Katana Mojen Hon, ancient glory. So, 2006 7. And Mracrona was what Tiana didn't do.
Chatu do Coco.
No, me ask my car would be. That was right. I sound of a car. But what can I say? And this is what you say. Jemensa your banty. Sir, as a Jemensa your banty, no what can you say? I say, Onyobia, moving Hunano, you want to intimidate him. So I want to tell you, say, Mamino, why your lawyer ni, and Yamana or Yinano, a one in a soul, madam. All right. Timunya, sir. Sir. First two NDC for filing omo petition, you know. You can't so form a dance form. No, the nipa me no pen a coy. Yeah. Now, Chia omo say a dance form you know on court. Oma head and go cancer papa bia and found wadom hamano. And nothing enra almost omo de metal jojo no echo cahono. Now, we did a dance form you know I don't coy. I say, don't get here. Any person white in some of kind say more draw. I don't know, say higher than some of the third one go come. Clearly, the NDC in your mama who say, Nipa me no am court could be a dance and almost some na a header, wow, a cogu or monimasi, and Tino, Yanko fire third one, if you are not on the NDA, a timber boy, hey, King quack, court on some wing. Miankasa Masham Humbo say. Yabaka ni ye ni aka na botrem ni nyansam say ya yentieti court ni tumi ya dia mom so yeah na enkofa contempt bia asem bi mfama na mom se ball no yenyum referee dia ne hwede yenim hwe nsem ekoso no obi a otiatie bia gidi se the NDC no ni nyina so court.
All right. Raphael Savo Patrick and Atin in Kano. Dr. Divine Gabriel Brofo Ewofieha. Mebani atwetwe nkomo sisi e.
And then breakfast. Me di momo milk and go into that.
Court no ebebua say eye declaration EC ba panyi ma me Jane Mensa o declare no se ebu Ghana mrapon na se embu mrapon no na bio obesa bua se eye aba oto Techiman South abato mpesu aso no se nka o the results no ebobo etwen bobo kan ho anka be ye nsachiraye bi e wo abato no outcome no ma na ne etwa to kra ene se allegation bi a petitioner ne de aba se mani bi o ha nkontabuo mu ne ye de kan obi de ho se sa ama no ye bua ne nyina se betime de ensachiraye bi aba abato no nsunsu anso so ana na sansemu num yi na enema ye kan o court ha nyina le wi a court no begua na samu be kan a na no ukuada a court no sorry asem no so no na ye hwe anim si ebehia na enra eye petitioner no ebo court no kokose nyame ya adoma na pai o mbesa de odansini fofora be ka ho so obe kan a ebra petitioner no file petition no obo court no kokose nka obe frɛ adansifo num enso so asat ukuada na ye free ha say na adansifo na emu mienu pe e na pe witness statement by ne cross examination ayaye no maba enti sa kokoboy ehu asem nanka na pai ye ba betie sa dansini otoso miensa eye owura Robert Joseph Metal nunu na no asem na afei nso so eye electoral commission ne president na Akufo-Addo ma lawyer for enso so anya akwanya atoto na no na enso so ye bepie mu aha na pa oba kan a eye adanse a owura Robert Joseph Metal nunu ochrogu krata so e ma lawyer for de bepie mu aha no na president Akufo-Addo ne lawyers a lawyer penyo odi anim eye owura Akoto Ampao o se ensem ni bi wo ha otiem na edi enti na nsem na no mode abeda court no so otiem na otiem free say sa wohwa emra na ede adwuma wa ha say na odansini na yayi no enyo no de na asem abeda court enti nkebe ya ensem a wode ba aba na adanse a wode ba court na nim no esese ye nsem a ewo fapem ewo petition na mode abeda court no na eni kwan say ye nsem a ne petition no mu nsem a na pleadings no ebo ebra na ebio ensem ne bi won so a eye omampanyi lawyer Owura Akoto Ampao o ne mpanyimfo akuku da meka no ho ehun se eye ensem anka ene asem a ye kan emfa kwan bia so nanso so omo pe kwati kwan bi e de aba be hyem na afei nso so se ye ka witness statement na esese nka ye ensem a ye wonim dia na bibia wonim hu bia na wodi hu adanse enya adwenkyere na nsem na omatwere gu witness statement no emumu bi nso so ya adwenkyere a ene mra no nso so bo ebra enti anapa Owura Akoto Ampao etia ansem ni bi mu e ma court no nso so ma eye petitioner no lawyer akwanya mo no nso so e kan bi na ne court no e kan kosi ya ne say ensem na e wo witness statement no mu emu paragraph 4 5 6 7 any paragraph 18 there court na twam say eni nyina so ni nsunsu aso bia wasem a ye beka mu na no kra
former MC Ejoso Jabin Ofia, Raphael Safo Patrick Enso, MPP, Emrantia na Omobomo Dempa, MPP Mashanti region. No, I feel there was a man deputy bio nice say. Oh, Nasa Boyjuma, your uncle Fobu or woman Boyjuma was here Pimum. Baby Ocean was here left to know. Oma Boyjuma was there, I say. Dr. Divine, good morning. Good morning. I'm home to say.
Already tears now on so
you go so pa it does say the bianso you throw ya oba
me that's it.
Oh 20 minutes I'm on your phone kasa Supreme Court this week COVID-19 and matters arising
me that's it Eddie kai machia Aguda Bishop Professor Daniel Yinka Safo na mabompaya man say Yankopoma na hoden na onsom Ghana na onsom nyamesom na aja mechia me nuaba adisi konfankom ampokuya ene Christiana Brefo Yankopon ma ni nyina ahoden no mfanta machi na akra me gidi se platform ya tisui no a highly educative platform yetie na wona we chire atu omofo akasa chire wo me gidi se Supreme Court amanyokuo mienu no wo no omo wo ne se ntiasie bi a enipa no susu se enipa ben eye NDC led by the former president John Dramani Mahama na ɔde nipa mienu akɔgyina court ɔde Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo akɔgyina court ɔde Jane Mensah akɔgyina court nti ɔmo na yɛ nipa mienu a ɔmo gyina court a ɔmo yi ɔnho ano ɛwɔ nsɛm a John Dramani Mahama susu sɛ abato na course no anko yi ama no nanso no ɛyɛ mmrakwan a ɛwɔ sɛ Electoral Commission die amamuo mmra no ama ne tumi sɛ ɔmfa election ho dwumadie ento Ghana fo anim no ɔno fa so no ɔse megidi sɛ anamo na matuo no enamrakwa so na ye kwan papa so a Ghana fo afa ya to aba ama Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo se obi wo adwen foforo bi a it has to be proven by court se court ntimi declare say asema John Dramani Mahama ede ya ba no eye no kre ede a me pese me twa adwen si bibi so say ya papa ya mo apon ko ka se mi say the illegal president. It was a serious statement. Wasenka wo twena adwen so say onye illegal now until say proven by court.
Yeah.
Because emremu no na Jane Mensah edi Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Enti toda nsembo ho amwani mra ho so ntem. Na ye nyina ye betima ye mfomso. Na twen ya adwen se bi ko no kra na adwen amaso. Ba na twen na adwen si so. Na ye hu se ye ma ebinum e wo fie nso atie.
On several occasions, though, on several occasions here, I've also stated that so far as we are concerned, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the president of Ghana. These things are done.
Because educational, and I hear on the platform so.
I get it.
Of I am one mate. Mesumimeti obi nsu tie bi de ye kan ha no obi atnase a ye ntie onwie ya onpon ti de ofa beka no na ye nyina ya anka bi anka nsi so se ente saa enipa nafa so Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo per the Constitutional Republic of Ghana is the legitimate president of this republic unless say ye beka asem ni be wie na approve otherwise enti ne ya mo anim ra so and two our advice Supreme Court. This is my kind of opinion. So press conferences now no Supreme Court promises or no, they should stop them. After hearing no, so obi wo press conference bia omo fanko omo contest. No omo nkoye because a very serious place.
Okay.
Ombe entertain sade no. Unim asam na koso no, enya asam keto na kan Supreme Court no. Uhu ni say enya hwebat a big issue. Because enye Mahama sorry ya no se meko odi adanse fo oko enya Jane Mensah sorry ya no se declare na se president o wonyina so constitution nim ena ya fa referee se momo de munni benku munni nifa enti momo hana mu nsesi asem no enti wo mo promises so de I think say my kind of opinion no ebetimi aboa pa ena two hearing so a ekoso no politicians na ya na ye betna platforms e kasa no se yan kasa ma enipa binum ante niema ekwase a ebetimi asai niema bibre enti mesre Nana Addo ya to aba ya yino John Mama waje atum o court say wan wini o say wan wini ena Nana Addo nso no wanya 50.1 nemum Nana Addo de do so che no wate ase ena Supreme Court so okay ye di asem ni wi a ye be hwese de wo kan wo ma na say enim enti Supreme Court nyamfa mu aye maya ye president Nana Addo ana mesco COVID issues no so because Supreme Court cases in the
and talking about COVID to this week, one of the critical issues we see with Parliament where MPs will be but that's isolated isolated and the critical issue per the reason is say Obikra ni tia speaker na so. Nese na speaker kra nya where because I understand say Oma mukoye sa test no. You catch you say because of this omo self isolated but still na no man say still omo the core business in Parliament and sana speaker be kasa. So we look at those things also please.
Chairman no kreni. Say ye kase yen hwe asem yen kase di sitia. Politicians, a part of the greater factor ama COVID no SG ekosoro right COVID asama ye ka no protocols a aban no e de baaye se ye ni so na emmoa na saa yare na etu otese no enkofom no bisa se oman kasa no om ye mpanyimfo anu om di oman nanim no om de saa protocols no ye adwuma na emu na ne ye campaign emu na ne ye rallies emu na ne ye to aba emu na ne ye niema bebre parliamentarians na nkasa no ekrampo no me gidi se me kai se minister binya bi
yeah
minister binya bi abro onya bi na cause of isolation Carlos I was a trade minister deputy sorry I was in Koko isolation one ko isolation
Carlos Ahinkra
one ko isolation chairman ma mentor ma se Samira one ko isolation
yeah
o sign nipa ne kodi nkita ho enti no ono mpo na wanya bi na e was ko isolation one ko leadership is by example so we a leader now you don't lead by example it means so we are incompetent ya no kan bi na ma yare no e kosoro na hwade ade a ehu sabre ni se nyankopon obo nipa no ode niam bi wura nipa ma ye fe ni immune system na akra immune system no se ewo ode hwe nipa dodo a enya bi Ghana se nipa 65,000 year count to we are talking about 61,000 or my total recovered. The recovery is about 96-97%.
Yeah.
It means say no vaccine in your mind. Then nipa ewudie because Ghana nipa ewudada malaria kumnipa accident kumnipa cancer kumnipa enti den nipa ewu na emom no nipa dodo enya yare no eni nipa dodo omo ho atọ wo no e wo se kasa kire wo se ye wo niema bi a locally no si yetimi ma ye ni ko ne ye hwe ni yi a yare na nkasa ye betimi edisu nkunim eye de eye ehoade nura e wo nipa dua ni ma ye friend the immune system no enti no ye hwe se ye betimi edidi yi ye betimi arrest ye betimi good exercise said the be ya se yare na ye mframa no mpo no se ba ye mu a automatically ye no ankasa beko na now no ye twa vaccine mai e den na wasiye ye vaccine ne ma ye ne de na ye ya yare ne ba ne etumo ye ho ban no we should continue to do that and more importantly na me ka asem bi say hwe now no oman no baby a eko no ade a ehia currently we say na na do danka kufuado ene ne nkrofo emu omani ko ho e de agrek because ye hia say this time no ekuyafo no kofom ekoye nuane enya saa the next 6 months akoma beba ne yentimi akoma beba ne yentimi enti no e was prempre ya no the department and agencies na e wo ho no na idea na e the planting for food and jobs na danka e introduce ye no omma nipa nsha se ye hyem kina biem na DCs no and MCs na omo areas na ye bie nuaba ho no emeye one of their prime factors because say no okasa okọ lockdown obi ekohye na so obi abedidi ye kase enko fie a ye nyina yakọ akotena fie o na so papa obepe banche obepe bode obepe aburo obepe mo obepe asichire obepe bibia kuyani no ono nso hye ho na wa anko kuya ofin se ne den ne beye na scientifically ni so no ye chese ewura aye forest no yare ye entantenem enti no se nyankopon ye yadom ne wo ye nkontomre ye wo banche ahan ye wo dodowa ye wo prekese ye wo nubi ye timi sori anopa utimi wo so ho kakra wasa uyemada ho uyemada ho utimi se udi nuane a eye natural nkasa
nana no mu yesa nyoma we ntie den
enen ni ho because nana ye prefer bibia ye fast we have fast education fast food fast bread fast teaching fast programs everything we want is fast enti bibi anya natural enti na make say no Agric may one of the prime factor. Now, yes, segmented areas, no. The Minister of Agric, I'm speaking directly to the Minister designate. Yes, segmented specific areas. Mumunuya bro, Mumunuya mo, Mumunuya banchi, Mumunuya baire. Abino support womo with a niema a bit niema kuafano I have mamma my year juma. Na yenye nuyanini. A banisana a babuayen. And a two, your institution be. As a Greenbelt Economic Development Ghana. Your Greenbelt Diagnostics. Nani bibi. Se no oni pebia se umi system ne ho ode a yare ba ebeko. Entino yanso ye ma ye niam bi e de boa. Okay. Se oba ye betima check umi system no for you for free. Am wo hu se umi system no. E wo foma na e wo soro. Se yare bi bama e betimi agina no ana wontimi nyina no. Se our former near children ni be a shasi di within 1 week no be recover. No wasia babiem for checkup. E won mention traffic light na se hwa. Yes your contribution ya de boano no. Ntu ba ya check you system ne ma. Ni a check you liver, ni a check you kidney. Ni a hwese se yare no e ba e hono de din kan atake. Ansa na affect ni padua ni nyina. Enti no se no covid yare na aba no. Anu aduro nya mai. Adi here said the protocols na yade ato no yemfa ne yeni so on the parliament asema ne yeka se empanyimfo ni bi enya bi no sese no wona omanya bi no omo ni enkrofo foforo bi so nyankita hodi o there has to be a contact tracing enkrofo ku na wona omanya nkita hodi
staff for 56
staff no so families omo colleagues omo friends omo church members omo associations omo join ne omo ko parties bi omo ko weddings bi omo ko engagements bi omo ko get together bi entisi akase ye tracy a nipa ba kunya bia we are counting about maybe 300 to 400 people entiade here say we maintain the strength of our immune system for now it should be one of the emergency attention I was say yema mutifo no yema ya adwen ko because ya ninki am fight ho say ehwade nuru no ye ni padua nim no ye bedi nuane a ebetimi ama na resese sayare no for now and sana si ebenya vaccine next 6 months 4 months 3 months aba masa the dyings no will be dyings because say na hwade na nipa hia be me atena ase no ye no ne ye bo ho mpaye na mesre propaganda ne politics a ye de covid ne ye no both the political divide yenyai because if I am pomodin ho if I am kwa ho if I asetena ho enti mesre sesi ye moa ye de boa Ghana fo ye de boa Kumasi fo ye de boa Santeman udi wuduru mensure traffic light na se wa udi just go and check your immune system
for free
oh, okay na hwa hoode ye wo na ye nche se enye enti dinuane wei ana ye wo no bi enua ba bia betime twa na wahyehyɛ na wankasa wanom wade nya sa oktiska akoto no baabi so wo bi dia obetime ato no ri bia no uniska nso a wada roman nurema nema nema bi wa bontena ebu kakaboma na wanom wade o sori ano pa ko baabi enu na wotwene na wase aba na wabe check ya hwe na ka che say good it is all the nipa change na ho na yare ne chi wo ma emu na will be recovered
because of immune system
because of the strength of the immune system enyan now so say no Europe ho no a wo din kan try vaccine no has serious implications o munyaye serious implications o munya no Britain abro mo start first trial no hwani padodo sebe nyankopon fo mu krensi o mo koye as I say Germany asan ko lockdown because Israel asan try first vaccine no o ma san ko back to lockdown. It means vaccine is not the total solution to the COVID. Any total solution.
Natural methods na
wo hono. Enti Ghana fo nyina no mo de mo mara man share traffic light ho. We will check your immune system for you for free. Your medical experts ho, your professionals ho. Omo be kire mo nuane edi enye se obi siska koto bibi ye nton duro ho ye nton hwe ho machines ni niam na si ho ene ye se ye boa na mpomden so akoso a diagnosis center.
Okay.
So a Greenbelt diagnosis center.
But more any free for
free for the public because of the COVID-19. But you observe protocols and other things. And two by that check bibia makama. Ni actually say ye way ya be bola ho. Enti ane ma me foni nyina kasa say mo ma ho adi hia yen. Say na sabio o ko bola ho akoto ba nchene body ya me di fufu anopa na enwumre. Na abakọ na ma no bola ho no wa ama because of say asi wowu a. Ofi say ho na te ne nche ono be ba beto aso.
Say edwum nso aye mo wo ho pa.
Enti no ade hia say wo say etime bua na immune system no nya hoden. Ana two say no de etwa to nso a mesa kaso say na vaccine ne maye no. Mama me suggestion say yamua na naturally no enuane na yedi no enti wadaroma on say mention traffic light ho na baby a traffic light on baby a Nick filling station wo no mo ye nkonya no dwanto abro sana se wa opposite multi credit ubeduru ho no na Greenbelt diagnosis na wo ho odi agbokokoko ne wura ho otime be check me immune system ya wo be hu level a ewa yare no se echiw se sia na obetime agina no bigiri se nyankopon so beta echi na bibia e kama.
Dr. Divine, thank you very much. I mean o share commentaries na ebana people are I mean impressed about your presentation so far. I mean the ever benin na no nti ye da se obisi ohia di no di natural. Yeah. Thank you very much, Doc. I mean, it's been very impressive, and balance and also talking about how I bet me and the critical issues. So I will care about the immune system because we are a new virus now, but it's say 50 to 70% infectious. I just say 10. And then am I dangerous, especially community and in confiding komo yene and a whole freedom so by na ye pay ya ne mani person mushai. One of the things no say ye ne nipa bebre akwa kusia ye koya ye main person mo be hage and I say enkra nsu sa
enkra wo school enkra ko school anopa awia nwumre omo na teacher fo nsu hia e be through school bus no omo de akọ
anyway
enti no
talk me that say nyame sure yeah enti Dogma, Dr. Thank you very much. I mean, a lot of people are impressed with the presentation so far. Edoso. Richard says, okay, fine, I hear you. Nana Yahweh Jewa, very good presentation by Dr. Sam Anoche. Very honest presentation. These are the person we need to talk on the platform. Abna, very wise man. Maxi Miller. God bless you, Dr. Brefo. Okay, Kwejo AJ. Okay, if you have no idea, first generation. This is wisdom. Banana. Patrick Yeboah, Dr. Brefo, good presentation. Abna, what's the name of this man? Reverend Dr. Brefo. Please. Okay, David. Untimi me did you be at Maka so did you be at my ma ho kwan. Samanoche, very good and knowledgeable. To add up, the president should use our prison system to boost our agriculture economy instead of putting everyone with just minor mistakes to choke our prisons. Also, use unemployed graduates to get them into the workforce, and it will help boost the economy. Doc, you got all my applause. Good job. My guy just said, "Oh, can now who did you be at my minkai?" Minkai. Okay, thank you. Raphael, thank you. Nana, thank you, and many others. Emmanuel, we are fair. Okay, all right. Ose bonsu thank you. Ref, inti, baby, I agree. I mean, chiche mumamo. 7 minutes on to wrap up now. Page 4 so emrem for no.
Nana Jantua, Mammy, Emfa we Tramutia, and I mean COVID. So, Nana, this week, na video be now social media. I think almost about 3-4 days ago. I don't know, party phobia, FR Bass, if we are and crying. Dr. Baumia. So more Quacker, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Now, you see, he said they are grew with it. The Amame can't say near, only a party for. Yagra, the main Ralph, means men trash Santa Regin ha. Namin Huni Penny now me MPP for. Yeah. And tis so bit me could broke us me MPP near. Na or see a guinea tum precope. Omo for VIP bar CB and omo 2 car corn crying. So mo Quacker, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia on the fear nominating como. Now, I said they outgrow a city.
obi bɛka sɛ ankomo party for ne nkomo duru ho no ɔsɛnke bi opono no prɛko bɛyɛ den ɛma wɔn
yeah
na unse mpanifo protocol ne de kɔ wɔn nkyɛn ne ade o menyɛ sure sɛ mikro assemblyman da ngoma se assemblyman sɛ wokɔ ne nkyɛn mpo a wobɛtumi atu prɛko pɛ na wakɔ ne nkyɛn abra a wɔmfrɛ no nka nkyerɛ no megidi sɛ party for mu tu saa na mo sa de bia na ɔmu nnim ne bia ɔmo adwene ɔmo sɛ ɔmo akɔyɛ party for ne de ɔmunya duru fie hɔ ebebie pono de amomo without knowing ebia vice president ne nso ne schedule ne plan ebia osora no pa oso ko hunu mampanyina ansa na ebia kwakoye meeting bi ansa nti ɔmo de no ane sɛ ɔmu tu car no ɔmo kɔye nti ehun sɛ social media asa amanfo bi aye voice kakra bi asa abufo kakra ma de srede am de be mo ɔmo ne sɛ nokura ne sɛ oso obi ni mu a obi kyerɛ ebi anka ɔmo nim sɛ sɛ ne nhyehyɛ ye buku appointment ansa ne akɔ a ebi anka enkoba saa ɛno so nkyerɛ sɛ Ghana mampanyina bedi akyire nso na ebi ana wo so ko hunu mampanyina wo so ogyae o enti ama mente me ho ase kakra ama ye party supporters no menye so sɛ saa na Ghana mampanyina bedi akyire Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia saa na ɔpɛ no ye besrɛ mo so mo makoma ntom ye ma ye party sɛm aye fia sɛm yenya akoma pa bi ne yɛmfa nka sɛ ya da bi ye bɛte ho ase na besrɛ sɛ mpanifo atitiro saa no ye kɔ mo nkyɛn a ye de krata ye siki appointment na wakɔ Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ye obi a sɛ wo de letter kɔto ne nkyɛn sɛ wo ban ho de ani gie ne akoma pa ne kebɛhyia party for no but anko ba ne sɛ nti no ye bɛsrɛ party for ne sɛ
and adding to it now also nkɔfo tia sɛ President Nana Akufo-Addo onye MPP for nko ade oye Ghana president if protocols wo ho
yes I'm telling you
enti say even national chairman kra na o se me call Jubilee House enye adwuma sa
enti mini anu efri Asante Regional omutu sa na mutu na honestly ye mu bi ye bepɛ mre ne yankasa ne wo mohia na yama akoma na toyam na nipakuo bi opɛ otu sa na mo bi anse akyerɛ mo kan ye sɛ mo fa so edu tam ne ye mu bi mpo ye betimi agina mu ama wo mo na ye de nhyehyɛ na to mimi honestly sɛ me nuanom we sɛ na minim so mpɛ so nko hu mampanyina be de akyira me I am one person abi am internet platform we so nkan to me ho ye som Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia yie pa ebi am na minim a ke bi am ama nhyehyɛ no ne ke bi am akodok fie makoya arrangement na me de ama wo mo sɛ ebi a the vice president saa mrantie we person ba ofie no no bedi nkomo anka to betwa anka de yehu no Facebook ye mu bibia anka empene ema ne nkoso nti mesere wo mo sɛ ebi na kakra wo yanim ye me ankasa me fa ato me ho so na saa mrantie party fo a omo ye so mo hu mampanyina mabedi akyire e wo ne fie a bi akwanya na ntimi ama no me ankasa me no bedi nkomo na de wo se ye ka bia na sɛ esese ye ko ka the vice president Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia no yakwa ka che ne atu ho na I think say that will be the short response am de be ma saa minuanom no a o mutu saa na mo no and again COVID baby abeduro no whether MPP or NDC or Yalena Between. That is my personal position and opinion. Whether John Mahama Nekoye campaign and our President Akufo-Addo Nekoye campaign, Yalena ba. So would you say? Some of one no protocol said Diagu Kwemono, Omo by Yalena Bekum. We need to be strong in our communication around this time, baby. And since she said, "Dia to Kwamuina, no matter TF1 her 4 no OT and no pay say, baby, Adron Yalena. Over a mop on Koya, man, Kuradi, almost say, yet Yalian Chu, Nasa Kwa, Berman, or intimate sorry.
Oh, Abapa.
And your hop
apart from saying to me, sorry, crowd, won't me. Me
no fading come on, Chelsea, and you. About the first one, Yan, no see, Mamma, some woman of Fasil. And see Yaliana, you. Come on, political parties, governments across the whole Africa, I are there. In our response to COVID. Mitia doctor, I know Casse. Even in UK, crowd almost as almost testing vaccination, no. You don't also at the buy.
Yeah.
Make me say Ghana buying Ghana Mampanyina and Adran Akufo-Addo and I'm to COVID. Mumaka on this platform. Several times say Ghana Mampanyina idea. As at the time Akufo-Addo yes, so educated Ghana for the 15th time. Fellow Ghanaians, na Nigeria Mampanyini. Now only Nigeria for Kasaba Kumpo. I want a man Nigeria for her say car say. Yemfa Akufo-Addo mere wo mo ne mefa omo mampanyini you see of amaminka senye na we abebam oh ense ya odi gu akwam lockdowns ahoro anuane nsuo free dia free ni nyina ba bia beduro no ba bia beduro ye the critical period of vaccination nana jantoa African countries ya mobo pa o dia me ya mobo ne say vaccine ya ka ho asem ye ni hu nim dia ye de ye bie say Ebeka say Ghana pa ebetimi atrase aye vaccine ama World Health Organization adi atum no menya sure say ebeche enu tira ama for say resort to ye ni ade e wokrom da wadawa prekese no ne sa nuaban say ya say na doctor kan ye betimi build their boost your immune system. But it's also important to state on this platform say we will still need the vaccine.
Yeah.
Meaning other countries atimi anya vaccine be about. I think in South Africa I am told so almost first batch of vaccines were sent to Oliver Tambo first February and almost account there. Difficulties a woman say, and I'm saying African countries, there will be a lot of shortages because China buying and now Britain are buying on from Mero Abran and Grove. And see, Saya way and then Betnache, and I see a boy home buying. You see, even in Europe, almost as some of the vaccines in the crowd, fear power man for be one say. Now there were propaganda in the system say a drone vaccine what the cow body and in UK a man for bebre o ha me no madin ko and now for I know madin ko ma o ka os me nko I won't take the vaccine because yes I me man for ye wie so the vaccine bia air system why you 2 stages go through the first stage near say public engagement and public education in the Ghana buying any African countries they are all going to go through these 2 processes. So what to me public education and public engagement. Now one find diffuse this perception and erroneous mentality. Say I don't cry the Baba Kunkma be before. I don't cry the Guya with the say Bekuya more. I don't cry me the Mimo. And all I was saying, Ghana buying so between a mono public serious public education. Now what to me church Ghana for say I don't know any young mind ever. Now I many paklovia for propaganda be a room. But
I think so one of the things I brought you more to say Joe Biden Munasefono. Omu on the national television, Omu GB me or Pania me the camera see almost say me the care into be nebemia as a leader. I think so one of the things he bet me about.
And in doing the public education, leadership in 24 and on that making science education in Mononam 24 Omu year public figures, Edu Omu one day desire cry obi. Ebasa omochi di for na say the ordinary Ghanaian no enso benya GDS oh
because they be an
another mpanyin na drug for no obi kura na say mpanyin da John Mahama wo obi no kwa wagu
okay
and we are part of the public education processes na we say kwaso now we are public education ni we are and so we call the actual implementation of the vaccine ne kwa out no and no say adwuma kese hin ye be chance afire nkwala na emrewa ema ye be chance afire region ben frontline workers nti sir 2 processes way the public education and then the actual implementation of the vaccines e adwuma kese pa nti wo mu say ye other countries etimi discover vaccines e betimi ye de aye adwuma no enya senketo difficulties ne challenges wo say ye kura Ghana ye benya dodo a ehia ye no e asemba ko because China and Nkrofo will unfund the any day. The government will have to engage in public education. Serious one. Amiati ase nansana yakọ the second stage of implementation of the vaccines. Enti the best TF1 ni omo mo hwe na no pa nyina ne say yare no will continue to still be with us even though ebenya vaccines there but to take time. The best say any no school for teacher for and all these institutions of state and people kwa adwuma wo no say mumie nyina ye mo boaye ho say ebetuma tu yale no ase. That will be my final.
Brother, thank you very much. Offer.
Nana John Twa na bibia ye kase we de me mfanye politics. Na e de ne mfanye politics.
Our final say are with the
politics. Oh, excuse me.
Bibia ya manosema.
Utie. Policy makers. Policy makers.
Yes.
Omo politicians.
Omo politician.
Very good. Okay, I said before see beto aba no. And a Ghana buy. Nana Adodanko Kufuado. World Bank and the IMF may sika to the tune of about 1.7 billion. Okay, I said no. Okay, so says can what the bed then. Also what the be ko yade no. And I'm part on yes sir.
Yeah.
Good. Before see beto aba no. Yade no. Various agencies in the yade. Especially Ghana Medical Association. and the various, teaching hospitals and other health institutions. Ekofom kakra fine. But politicians, Ghana, na abind that time abind no Nana Akufo-Addo dikaino. Emra no share ye edito yade no hu nyina no. Nana Akufo-Addo as president. Onwa di animu asa abu mra no so. But on the jump to Tiasa Muipa, a Ghana for pa. As a chance say, Bekai pass a commercial Nana Akufo-Addo Bass obey campaign. Up a votes. Na Osha near me Siwo Bantma Quada so a doom that you say a year. This is a very man, the same man, or act as president that time. Or do a man yiding aquagisi catuchidi 1.7 billion. Obe boom so obe kenny boom obe said nose max near the other. Say or the pivots, say Ghana for Santo Abaman. Unless we catch him said the American Yanukre. In the end, say Safo Betraha. Na o preaches so Yamuya Hoban Yen say ya. But some children just say. Samani who I almost say Yadiana to us a thing, young Fablin Nana Akufo-Addo. And then the bite. Hey, oh, Casabia, Beba, at it, Miss. I had to say, one more yana so more from Moody, movie at me. Nana, so obey matem. Now so only dear, Menon Yaji.
Of a making kind.
No. And yet, that is your distance. But no problem. Yadia, Massa Yadia Waba. No, but Munya, by your trouble. Massa, now you are not. No problem. What I won't come here and come back. David, men come be me. Said next time, Granos, I want can you, Miss Odia Mammy. Bombing some woman, say any part.
What's in Ghana? You know,
Safunia Maya, maybe only in this for you. Mahama, what is coming? The Sia and Kaubacase. Oh, dear, Yatata, Jomama. At the Ghana for and what be this is anti-climate. No, for you not be fair. This is anti-climate. President Pierre, pretty, say a muya hobai. I would do a minor, the aquaquaji sikawi. Sikano grano, quayo mufasu says can cry up to now Ghana for the Quajisika. Sabre, the then minority, headed by Honorable Ayarga. Eche, Oforiata Chene, say, Amra no mabun kunta. Enter Ghana for. Okay, at that time, no we year. Kululu near baby. Emma, audited and so called. By force, leave. So what is Stafford talking about? The government must be accountable to the people, the good people of this country. No, Mama should also be accountable. Hey, Massa, COVID or no COVID, Ghana must stay as a nation. Sure. I am ready to do a man yediso. Oh, ya buy now, Oko Jessica. Can you first say, Cano? And so, Manfo. Etienne, and Yama Bonia and Nana Akufo-Addo Bay before the elections. As soon as sounds one abbey. As soon as sounds one you. Obaba Nim COVID, no. And then the COVID, no. War. It is Beba, Obetra, now the Cassibu ya. Oh, Candia Tamua, now Kakaya ya. President, your only name, the man for whom. Never more draw, no quantity bottom. And in a bush of form. That time when Nana Akufo-Addo Babeka and Kwadam Penny for the Nipabo Masiano. I compare at Vosuno, a Vosuno. Not the refuse COVID. And Nadiano. What is he talking about?
It's of moving for a young day.
As I said, Nana Akufo-Addo. Yenya Bompayana Asamu Kosui. Or different Jedi Free. Yeah, because one year. Oh, dear. 1 million who couple. What do you know?
Say,
what is all the COVID? Ebiakan.
Oh, and no party.
The ambassador chance 1 minute.
It's John Mahami Binya and I just saw you in the family.
Mahama dia adentia e bi ban no.
Adentia.
Tabi. Odre no ho.
Odre ho.
Oba no ho bai. Mahama can't change this in Yedi uka sonso yedi na misa.
That can you cre.
That person be kukuru koto abonte nsunya butre. Because adia na wo kan yem fa.
Oba kan kra mem.
Eti na na dwantoa.
Yes ofa.
Ye pe obi a asase yedi blebu no ma no.
Jo mama.
Ye pe obi a odwene oman no ho. Na odwene wonu nko an botom na busuafo ho a eye na dodan kokofo ado.
So moving forward.
Moving forward. Asase yini free ho.
And yes, I
man in fear ha. So on family ho obua.
Yenya ni no. Yenya
no.
Aye.
Si ogusu ye yi no ba.
Na vaccine no say
technical area. Technical area. You see, also the papa doctor here okoye. Because I'm so a medical doctor. Also there be. But at least I'm say oh yeah or no need. You see, me a victim of so many things. Oh, doctors informing ya grokra. Nurses informing ya grokra. Because media have gone through a lot. It me pa ya say ye benya ban papa president here papa obedri ya ho nurses sika no obekwa akodia wode beye de seso this can ye.
Okay.
Or this can be say na nkoba say mo beche sika na de ni abefro se bra parliament na betre kwan ya this can for so me ma kokotako yentu bia
John Mahama nkobe sa
nkobe na John Mahama sika bebebo kwaji ba ye Mercy Hospital Mercy Airport meye we me yan wode ye na kufu adu sika okwaji e die no de abeye Ghana. Asem so simple. Ha yenye mo politicians kra no wode oda nyame asia bonten eja fefe si we hwana si ye John Mahama hospital akekanyura mu a obi an fa hwi hwana ye John Mahama
dumso
airport
John Mahama dumso fie na hwana de ba ye John Mahama teacher training allowance hwana twa mu John Mahama nursing training allowance hwana twa mu John Mahama. That was the kind of hopelessness John Mahama, the kind of state John Mahama jama Ghana for obetra no na woda kanem wo be watu atade e kama obetra no oba nwabongo
se wo ye penina tifie ne nkwada awi nanka na osi wodi onka ho hwia ye kana kawi fo oka ho bio na 2020 ne ma woto wa wo ye eye sa me wo fro be kasa na
ofa ma yi
na esukwado ma ne ma wo ye
ma yi na fi
eti de American say John Mahama se ode bibi janu ohweso yie.
Oh, okay.
Se Usman so onkofa bibi mrefia ode ba. But the body baby na na kufa ro jisika ya hu baby odisika afa.
Okay.
Ya kwanya na tia apra tetia pansam.
Ya kwan de ofa.
Ya hospitals na ayabasa yi. Ya bibia na sayi. Eti sika no a ya wodide no wode ye de.
Wode ye de. Thank you. Ofayamo, thank you. Doc, my friend you be 2 minutes be na yeah.
I think you can even speak from there. Don't you know that?
Yeah, set it home, man.
Oh, it's okay.
Set it, yeah. Doc,
thank you, Nana. Adia here. Adia here of I am myself. Security for me for I am up on Conquabon to mammy. On my men casa. Oh, Master say, Mijidi say, Nanado. Oye na adwe se a school for unko school no or te ministerial committee bia omo behwe nkra no mpomuden megidi se education ebi free ho ebi nso be free health and ebi nso be free interior or defense so the be these three institutions no ebe kambom na sika sema e wese omo de bo a school for no ho bra ne bobo ohun ban afri yare no ho no eye PPEs no ewe yi
okay
mpanyinfo bu baby say sebe yesoma banyansafo yensoma de ne na wowa sa wo soma mse me nkoto nchene mra me ho ha matumrika kwa ba meba na makoni kuramia ntem na mekoba ene mfaso obi ani so
okay
but ade na wo hwehwe no ena wo hia sese no enkra na ko school no eniema ben no de bo mo ho ban omo face mask omo hand sanitizers omo soaps omo tissues awose omo wi omo de paper omo nsa even government institutions kura bi wo ka abekokra ne eniema ni bi ni ho enti sa ahobobo na aban ne yeye no enwie peye se papa enne no asetena mu eden no sma se hye wanu 1 cedi o hye ba akon na de koba se o so tofoforo enti ede no o so to bi abe 3 or 4 about 5 cedis eni padro se ne benya se ska no no aka se mihia onso na wantimi anto bi abre bi e so amasen ache wadde de wakotum aban no e wo so hunu se yedi tumi ahye ne nsa no obo emamutifo no ho ban enye tumi ni akakabensem ena enya nhye ena enya wanya ameyi ose ba baby ade na duru no e wo sa aban no bua temamufo no abra ye sha ase se emamutifo no empam PPs ni bi ti said ye shemi me towe almost be 2-3 months ni on said that so shemi eye fia na ma dey ni masi aban no fa contrast ni bi ma wo mo pimpam ne ma ne DCs ne MCs no omo pimpam ne ma wo mo nchen no na omo mpa bi ma yen enti sa kran di ko school bakra na no ma me asensi na de ama no mienu a ajo ompafumpa so obi mpese putu onhie wo na so senya hyede a yedi nejo panfas ba bia yempa ne yetna ho animia se yare ya ba yempa ne sa wo na so aye animia enti sika bia aban ne sabeka se ode boa etu yare na se no aban ne make sure se nkra ne ko school no na no me visit aputuoja almost schools ni bi mo na me mpese mebo hodin teachers ni bi enya yare ni bi ama nkra ne bi nso enya bi ama now no ye the teachers ne nkra ne bi eko isolation center omo examine omo so omo wie na sa numbers no ekoso a e wo se to school nim enti no medical preparedness ben na ban ne ye a o dey support to school na obi enya se yenko school ne ekono kwabko nim se yare na ba na mesren so se abra na make say ye wo support ye dey ma obi a o pese ohun the strength of the immune system no ne liver ne kidney no me ye se ye wo manhia traffic light na se ho ya de ayem so ye de boa se de be ya nipa be hu na hoden na impo unim na yare ni be chewa ubehu se wa hoden ni betimi agina na bibisa number minim se bia metimi de number na tudwa na se producer any hu komoke but on do mudu manhia traffic light wa so a o super green bed diagnosis wana on be ya mo free now so timi aye
all right that's fine
na doctor kureka say ne de ni no smasi ahye ne be boso me yensa ni na madisre de ni my observation be concerning nose mask na amanfo ni bi nose mask bobo ma bodwe se ni se de se aye fin pa no se ya hwe yi a eno nko ayale de beba no
it's true
nana
it's true
it's true so fuck get ya bontene so now she nose mask pa titan crofo hwena no eni ni fini ne kankan a eye pa na se meme gidi se baby adu na se police for crash as che sa de no
sigana mo kodye ye no
ena no over as we speak every junior high school the government every junior high school over last year eye sika exchanges marketplaces nyankopon adawroma Dr. Lahaji Mahmoud Bawumianom digitization ne mobile money ni sa niema ye ba ye ye betimi make use of mobile transfers ni mobile money num e de adigwa sa ne we on level we are see e move krono no nti mesre ye ma menom ne ye papa nom ne ye nuanom e digwa ahoro ne se mama ye make use of mobile money ne ta transfers ahoro no na ye fan reduce your contact with sikani sa ne money ente.
Thank you very much. 0322 083581 83582 835-83-835-84. Na what mumie line in mamio na odiska. Mumie line in mamine yankasa. Yeniska na yankasa. Hello, good morning.
Nana.
See, I'm
quite. I'm channel for you.
Hey, Joseph.
Only I call Cosmo William Cassafree. Former Dr. Richard and the Consul Zonam Cassafree. Nana, no pay a channel more about Sonia Catania Coupon Shroud. Now, mention about for Basok for 1.2 Parmy tell me you are. My children, young for Jala could get to my teacher, Melissa. And then I'm the Sasso of Black Platform to Guya.
Young Quasem, young Quasem.
The thing is, I'm not figures to catch your send this for money case. No more coming United offer a more phone call. No offer some granting 2 years ago. A bone croma was Santos to the bone crew. I did 10 year prayer, Praco Gubola so. Almost a million a bola, and go Gubola so. That's so much and so being them. Says I say, look at Tiane, Professor Aquajomo to Papa so. And you did the hookah. I no me do to Ghana for so. I banned your mamma to Mutan, but worry, worry.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Hello? Yes. Me who you answer?
I get your opinion. Me what is a babro?
COVID by uncle.
Chairman, you are for mammy. Why?
Okay.
Watch your mofa, your mop on Kwame. Now, Nadia, COVID-19 by for your mop on could be over 12 cases was an advance president. Never. Now, Nadia, I don't know many other casse. Nana Dwyer, this year, former President Mahama Mokobi Betty March, and I said, light 4 years and of I want to a former president. I could not that to me, so you to say, then I'll be a president and tell me. Now, the American said, Yariano 77 penny, 14 about Kufano and Ania Brewer. So we saw my own bank, that's a Yanachua. Then I don't go Kufado, and more fire, and Raphael to Yadianichino. Tebes, there's a minute of fair cast and no smiles, no.
Okay.
Bro, so who be there? Me doing a message and make a mamma big dodgy door or some about coffee back.
All right, thank you very much. Insura 104.5 Gukran to be good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Okay. 0322083581 83582 83583 Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yanko Asum Jenkamo.
And Council Yankwe.
We are the king of Taxi Davis, aka Agogo Shigo Nekase. The Pacho Raphael Mechiano pa and what boy to mop up over. Now, Uchi Papaya Mopo, Yoveka and India. Media, me who as a papa be of a GTO, I didn't say. COVID, Jumedina, Ghana for Yenina Yetido. Baby, you disappear. You need to see a quiet chill. See, Nipa, a woonie double. It me expect to say, no, pay a mop on Coba Betas, so what can you, Esina, a bit you make Mendisini, a bit you make MPP, a bit make CV Pinino. Oh, and no what I'm not gonna for Yenti. Some we say, what can ya, my attack or Twaba Pride, Tiana say, I saw okay in Nanya and Papa. If you are Twaba the Tiana and another Danko for lawyer president, against in a ransom now, Kaina or Doguzwa Walker. Your president, there can say, you need use to protocols now or the Abano. You know, you send me in this and your money now, so the idea but when I'm a threat, 47 Nanamisro, and this is what a quiet one more fast one more time, a fast one, a quiet papa, and my don't money, Mahama, yes, I did, I didn't demand no. Catch what was say, Sapina, so you see a for someone and now go about the president, what did the president know? Yes, sir, you need to see a room, a funny, you see a folk so pepper.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Kukran Chumi. Good morning.
Kojo, the Pacha Wapum to say
Patrick Mehoya Uncle.
I'm Sabu Sumo Pen and Jina Mikasa, Nemajo, so I thank you. I mentioned Dr. Ya was said to na mentia Nana Ball B. no kwasam yewura ya mo ponkote Alfred Patrick waye esukonoma me pesa me ma wo fati ase se ye pe wo mo anyini no makobo dawura ma nti wo fisi wanyina wo mpaja ne nsa na memfa ne nkomo mo nkobo dawuro ni bi ye ka nyina ne se yade na aba no ehu papa na no yewura ya mo aponko betra o studio ho what's in no smart no o yi a obenya problem enne eye dan na se eda so katana no sese bibia hunhuna no mesre omunyina miem preaching fa sa yade no ho because awokọ America se sie ya no smart no wo de taso mienu se si Africa ha.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Nana Kojo.
Yes, sir.
Wakure ni o.
Akra enko.
Yo, mamenchi a oni wati efu nyina. Na machi a me papa yo ga Nana Kojo chire matene dog agric minister no. Hwe asemo a eda ho sesi a ye do sano. Ye nhwe yie pa fa ye yare ya ni ye yare. Sa yare wo ya betin se wiase ko mu no. Ete wiase economy nyina nyinya. Ebi kura chezo kwajo nya na China for kra se Africa maya ombobo nyina ese de omatwe omsa no. Kwajo nya ntesa wo kwajo me krachi ni no enti ya na no yima no ntem na etie for kura hu se me ne me krachi na e ka sei. So ahu no. Enu ti eniema fa COVID no ho mesre sani ye kan school say aban na oma nkola no ayi ni apempempempam yi ya de homa so me ne me bakura no o miensa mienu na we so o mienu na so ni access ano ni ade ni nyina yemfa bi nsa nka ho sanitizer no enyamo na police fo so sia kwajojo antoa ne se no smart wo mobia ye nche no wo sia oba na ache no ofa ya mo afonko no ma che no na MPP ni ya ohoyi o mobia no ma che no ye fa police soldier fo nyina nka ho they say German fo nyina me no sister ka so ko bana aja kutete lockdown ye chem ye kwaji
Mati Awuzia me dan say thank you very much. Dr. Divine, thank you. Raphael Patrick, thank you. Offer a free fire more ponko Yankupon Shra. Monso amo share yen live on Facebook and so ye damase. So what challenge bi na wo problem bi na so person no bi kasa obetimi afre number no odi mame kan number no bacho. So bese kro yimu sana kukrantumi nya story bi free ho na bese ka bi ma wa mbacho stories ana issues bi a ana bibia nso a 0241831774 0241831774 0241831774 Yema abusiafo yako Dr. Edward Prempe ene Usie Ohokani ene Yema yako Dr. Edward Prempe. Thank you very much from Nana Kojo Eugene Ose Tutu a fact checker Bernard Kusia Pia. Thank you. Mercy Omunyina Anso make sure se bibia you okay. Okuku the program director, Gede the marketing manager, Jimmy Agla, the general manager, Love FM, Ishra FM. Yamisha, passport to us Saturday's edition.
She